A bada bing, a bada boom. How are you beautiful people doing today? Welcome to the Delivered Show, where Delivered is going to deliver things and be a delivered and be a delivered and do delivered things on the Delivered Show. I'll be your host, Delivered and Delivered, and I'm just going to shush up and get to work. How are you beautiful people doing? I'm pulling up chat. I am here. I am live. I am ready to chit chat and make some phone calls, be a star. We got Dev Tech. We got California Boy, Local Low Boy. Local Low Boy? Got a lot of people named with the boy in the chat. How are you beautiful people doing? How are you guys doing today? A little tired today, guys. I won't lie. I'm going to be here. I'm going to make it through. You ever just have those nights where you just don't get a good night's sleep? You just can't fall asleep? And when you do fall asleep, you wake up like 9 times. You just wake up like 9 times, and it's like normally you have a good night's sleep, and then your dog, bless his heart, wakes you up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which he almost never wakes me up at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore because he was really thirsty and needed water. And he had water, but he didn't want to go downstairs by himself. So I had to go downstairs with him, where he drank more water than I've seen this dog drink in a long time. And then I went back upstairs with him, tried to fall back asleep at 5 in the morning, couldn't fall back asleep until at 7:30. He woke me up again because he had to go potty. My dog sleeps in my bed. What a good night's sleep. My dog didn't sleep in my bed anymore for a few different reasons. No, guys, I will say, I don't know when Zach's going to be coming on, but I will say that he has commented on a few of my videos saying, are you going live today? Are you going live today? So it seems like today is going to be the day that Zach Morris finally comes in. You guys don't know who Zach Morris is. Zach Morris is a troll that's been here for a really long time. I'm very curious to see if he actually does. We're going to go through a lot of fun stuff today. Nice little mosquito bite. Look at that mosquito bite. Are mosquito bites the worst? Are mosquito bites the worst? He had enough time to practice. Honestly, for anybody who I have no idea what he's going to debate. I mean, he should be prepared. He should be the most prepared person in the room. He has had he's had more time to think about this than, and he's watched so many interviews. It's insane. I'm gonna turn my AC up a little bit. How are you guys beautiful people doing? I want to answer some questions here. He's supposed to come on 3, I think. Second one's more subtle, I agree. Boom, boom, boom. Everything's okay. I'm here now. You know what? I was honestly waiting to start until Tibbs got here. So, have you been to England? I was in England for like 5 minutes. By that, I was there for 1 night. I flew in before I went to Croatia. I flew there, spent the night there, and then flew out. I do have a lot of exciting announcements coming today. I'm going to get my energy drink here pretty early. We're going to do an energy drink early today. Do you like, I have no idea. What did you have for breakfast there? Beans? Oh, I didn't have breakfast. I woke up at like 5 o'clock and left. I had dinner there, and dinner was like some little Asian spot. It was really cool. It was like a I don't even want to say it was like I don't even know what ethnicity it was. I just know it was like a small little, wasn't a Korean spot, wasn't a Japanese spot, wasn't a Chinese spot, wasn't Thai, maybe Thai. I mean, Thai might be the closest thing, but it wasn't really Thai food. I don't remember. It was in Chinatown though. It was good. It wasn't teppanyaki, you know. I'm in Altoona, Iowa. What? It seems like a lot of people are excited for some Zach Morris debates. I'm excited for Zach Morris debates, honestly, because we're going to see if he's actually good. For as much trash as he talked, I'm expecting a good debate. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. I'm going to mention it a few different times. If you guys haven't seen the podcast that I've been talking about for weeks, finally went up, where I got interviewed by Jana. Jana did an interview on coffee and conversation. And it was one of my favorite. I'd actually say it is my favorite interview that I've done yet. And I hate to diminish anybody's interview, but Jana came in on an interview so prepared and asked questions that I just had never been asked before. And I think when you actually listen to somebody that's been prepared and ready, it was really cool to see. She got into some of my personal stuff, which most people don't get out of me. She got into, what made delivered, some of the lessons I learned. And I'll say it in a it's really worth the interview, but it's gonna sound weird, but I'm gonna defend it. It was the first interview that I've done in a long time where the interviewer made me feel more of a person than a person behind the screen. A lot of people focus on the social media, the fame, all this stuff, and very rarely to talk about the actual Tommy. And I didn't really realize that was a thing until that interview. And there's multiple moments where I was like, oh shit, maybe I need some therapy. And she didn't even really get that deep into my personal stuff, but it was enough where she asked some questions that really hit home. It was good. I watched back and it was very impactful. I think, thinking back, I filmed a few weeks ago. But you guys should go watch it 1,000%. If not, just to support what we're doing here, but learning a little bit more about me, learning a little bit more about Delivered, some of the things that I ended up doing. Jana, did I cry? You'll have to watch. You'll have to wait and watch. You'll have to go look. Did I cry? Did Jana cry? It could have been a lot of things that could have happened. But I will say, I got the coolest thing that they've ever said about me ever in my life. She called me Batman. He said, I am Batman. He didn't say it like that. But like, I'm Batman. It was pretty cool. The 16-minute profile, I don't know if they're actually going to ever do that. I was going to be on, they were going to do something, and then something happened. I don't remember. So I got to turn the AC up. He's giving away a free car, folks. Yeah, she did reveal that I am trying to start a foundation that gives away cars. It's been a passion of mine. So I'll give you guys the low-key version of it. I've always been passionate about giving cars to people as their first vehicle when they can't afford it, when they need it. When I was, you guys don't know much about my past. I got kicked out at 16. I had a mom that did drugs. She's now clean. I had abusive dad and step parents. Long story short, going into a lot of things I did. At 16, I had to work a full-time job because I lived on my own and I had to pay my bills. And I lived in Iowa. And I don't know if you guys know this about Iowa, but Iowa, it's cold. And like, you can't just walk everywhere. I had a bike. And I biked to work every day at Subway. Rain or shine did not matter. Snow did not matter. And long story short, somebody, I'm gonna call her Debbie and Steve. I won't give their last names, obviously. Heard my story, which again was just while I was in high school and didn't really have a story, but they heard and they wanted to gift me a car. And it was one of the coolest experiences I had. They bought me just a nice, like, few $1,000 car. Now, fast forward to when they bought me the car, I didn't have my license yet. I still had my permit because my parents wouldn't let me get my license because that would be crazy. So I was studying for that, and my sister was teaching me how to drive. And then my sister crashed the car before I ever drove this car once. Crashed it. She's fine. But she crashed the car. I didn't even get to drive the car. Then, true story, just a crazy story. She then took the insurance money and bought Christmas gifts for everybody. Didn't give me that crazy of a gift, I'll tell you that. I didn't even realize, because I was so young, I didn't realize you got insurance money. She definitely didn't do it on purpose. She got sideswiped. It was a pretty bad, I remember the accident. That's very few memories I have. I don't think she did it on purpose. But fast forward to boom. So anyway, she owed me a car at that point. And this is actually a good story. So a year later, after I figured out there was insurance money and all this, I still didn't have a car and I was biking again. I just didn't really want to tell Steve and Debbie because that would be embarrassing. So I was just telling them how great the car was every day, even though I didn't have a car. I said, hey, you guys owe me a car. Like, you got to give me a car. So her boyfriend or husband at the time gave me a 1997 Dodge Neon manual. Taught me how to drive manual. That was the coolest car that I ever darn had. I'll tell you guys. I didn't want the Ford Focus that I got. They gave me a Dodge Neon. It had an Eclipse motor. I did some crazy stuff with that car, and then I blew it up because I ended up thinking that it was a fast car. And then I sold it to the junkyard because it was gone. Her name was Shelly. Yeah, I had a tuner kid. I went to the Neon convention in Minnesota. I remember going to that, and I saw everybody's Dodge Neons. There was some with SR. I remember going in an SRT4. No, mine didn't have a turbo, guys. This is a 1997 Dodge Neon. It had the 2.0. It did not have the 2.4 turbocharged. Even though I dreamed about putting a 2.4 in it because it was cool. Let me tell you guys, everybody loved my car. When I drive manual, it was pretty sick. It was pretty cool. Oh, look, it's Zach Morris. He's here. He's live. Oh, my goodness. My drink. Oh, my goodness. So, anyway, then I got that car, and that ended up going down the journey of fun cars I had. So I'm not mad that happened because I learned that what fun cars are. And now, Zach, you said 3, so I can give you till 3 if you need till 3. I don't want to give you an excuse on you not being able to be here, so I want to give you the time you asked for. Oh, he said he's just ready. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys the backstory just so you guys know. If you guys don't know right now, I complain to chat a lot about trolls. There's normally a few trolls I talk about all the time. One of those people, his name is Zach Morris. I don't think that's his real name because it's the Saved by the Bell name, but what do I know? I think I'll let him introduce himself. But he's been in here. I've been inviting him to chat for a long time because he's thrown a lot of shade. Today's the day. Today's the day. I'm going to take a sip of my drink and I'll give him a call. Now, this guy has thrown more shade than I think any other character. He has finally agreed to come on here. Okay. Okay, he says he DM me. What's the number I can call? Text me your number. Text me your number. Yeah, he hasn't sent me a number already, but that's okay. Text me your number, Zach. I call you. How this works. That'd be insane if you didn't text back. So we're doing it. I've said that I have certain rules that I will debate people on any day of the week, no matter what time it is, on a live. We'll stop what we're doing on the live, and that is going to be for Zach Morris. That would be for Chevy Dude. That would be for like a few other people that I can't think of right now, that I said I would stop the interviews and do, or stop whatever I was doing to do those. Okay, he hasn't texted me back yet. Don't worry, it's going to happen. So, and here's the thing. He has heard every point I've had. I think he's watched more lives than like most of you guys here. So I'm really curious what points he makes. I don't have any idea. You got to have a burner phone, don't you? I do, Zach, but Zach, it's really not that hard of a concept. Zach, I've never once, like, I'm not going to allow you to call from an anonymous, like, this is weird. You've watched these debates every single week for months. I don't leak people's numbers. No, it's been the same requirement from day one. I want Zach to call. I'm not worried if you have my number. I'll send it. Call at 3:30. Okay, now he wants to go to 3:30. Okay, guys, we have to wait till 3:30. He did just say to call. And now he's saying 3:30 again, which he said 3:30 originally. Then he came here. $3:30 or 4. I imagine when we get to 3:30, it'll be 3:30. It'll be 4. I honestly just really think from the bottom of my heart, I think Zach just feels really important on this live. And maybe Zach, like, I just did an interview today and I learned that I need therapy. It may be a situation where you need therapy. You're getting attention from not only somebody as awesome and well known and kind of a big deal as me, you might just continue to need that. And you hate, not because you actually hate, but because you crave that attention and you know it's the only way to get it. It might just be a therapy situation. You know, like, go talk to somebody. I can get you some resources. I get it. My home smells of rich mahogany. I have many leather-bound books. It's a really cool thing to want to give that attention. I don't know if maybe you don't get that attention at your dealership. Starting with insults. Interesting. Okay. Well, Zach, we might just have to mute you till you get here. I don't know. Because if you have time to be chit-chatting right now, why don't you have time to go live right now? I do find this really interesting. Because you're not going to make a turn in 30 minutes. And what that means, guys, that means, so he says he's in finance, meaning that there's no way he is going to get an entire deal complete in 30 minutes. 37 minutes, to be exact. Finishing something now. So why don't you put your phone down? Again, put your phone down. Go focus on it so you can get here. Sounds like the smarter move. You do your job, I'll do mine. Okay, so I'm going to keep making fun of Zach Morris for 35 minutes because my job is to entertain the people, and the people like... Who is Zach? So if you guys don't... So Zach has been in my comment section and been on a live every single day. He says a lot of mean things. Really, the things are along the lines of, all I do is trash dealers. I'm not productive to the dealership or to the equation. I'm not honest about what I do. Which in turns, all I do is lie. He said, what did he say today? Let me see if I can find some of his comments today. He comments on most of my videos too. So if you look, the problem is I get a few comments on my TikTok, so it's hard to find them all. So like, this is the type of person Zach is. He lies and misleads to make customers hate dealership. It's just easier said that way. Okay, so maybe that's gonna be Zach's debate point. He lies and misleads to make customers hate dealerships. It's easier said that way. Actually, I'm not going to, I'm not even gonna give him my points yet. Because I would actually disagree, and we'll get into it. I'll disagree that I actually believe that Zach lies to my audience to get people to not like me. And I have more proof than he does. Anyway, I'm gonna answer some questions while you wait. We got 35 minutes. We've got 35 minutes here, so I'll answer some questions from you guys. What is the best price on a Jeep Gladiator? I mean, you can get like over 10% off plus rebates in that. Boom. Why is Tommy obsessed? I'm again, I like to give people attention that need attention. I think it's just my need to help people out that need help. And I just think Zach is crying for help from the outside. New Camry discount, 4 to 7 grand off. 4 to 6,500 off. I'm gonna say 4,000 to 6,500 off. Tommy's a narcissist. He loves this stuff. You know, I am kind of a big deal. People know me. My home smells, when you go walk into it for the first time, rich mahogany. I have many leather-bound books. My dog ate an entire wheel of cheese. People know me. I can't walk into the street without people saying, Tommy, I'm a big fan. It's true. Ooh, is there a quote that changed your life or one that you always think about? Is there a quote that changed your life? The quote that stuck with me the longest, the one that I've lived by, I've been reading, and to be fair, I always thought it was by Thomas Jefferson. I then learned in life it's not attributed to Thomas Jefferson, which is I'm a strong believer in luck. The harder I work, the luckier I am. I've always heard that, and it really resonated with me that there is an equation of luck to everything in life. Like me being where I'm at with the business I am, there has to be a luck. But the reason people are successful aren't because they're lucky. It's because they put so many reps in, it would be unreasonable not to be lucky. Does that make sense? Something about MAGA. I don't talk politics. I will quote Dolly Parton, which is not the Dolly Parton quote, which is I've learned that being in this life, talking about politics is not a good thing. You guys aren't here for politics. I'm not here to talk about politics. So you can ask me all you want. I won't tell you. I watched a good Dolly. Rest in peace, Dolly. That's a sad one. That's a sad one to see go. It's good to see a person that added more good to this world than left it. Good rule of thumb, I feel like, is 10% off most recognized bands. I'm too drunk to taste this. Car Edge is getting out of hand bashing dealerships. Yeah, so they went down this whole path. I won't even talk. It's an interesting path. I think I think. Yeah, we'll see. Guys, I'm not a broker. Sorry, I know. Can you explain holdback? Sure. First off, it does not matter. So I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they care about invoice, holdback, floor plan assistance, all this BS. None of this matters. To get a good deal, you don't need to know any of these things. And honestly, I think it's part of one of the reasons why all of these things are there is to make things more confusing. So as a consumer, you don't need to know, or that you don't really know what a good deal is. But the general idea is invoice is what a dealership buys a car for. MSRP is what the manufacturer suggests they sell the car at. There's multiple other things that get played into there. One is holdback. Holdback is a magic number that the manufacturer pays after the sale. This is not invoice. This is something that's different. Now, sometimes holdback has scaling models. So if You sell enough cars, holdback increases. Sometimes they call that marketing money. Sometimes they call that floor plan assistance. But think about it as invoice would be $30,000, but they might have another $500 or $1,000 of holdback. This is just extra money they give the manufacturer or they give the dealership. So just extra profit that the dealership has. So they might show you the invoice. Say we're selling the car for $500 above invoice. But once you add holdback in there, it's additional profit. Delivered. I'm a GSM at a car dealership. I'd love to work with you on GMCs and Buick in New York. I love that, dude. DM me. Holdback is to keep the commission. I mean, I don't even think that's true. Profit is not a dirty word. You don't get to negotiate groceries and gas. Dealers have to make money. Dealers don't have to make money. First off, dealerships are not entitled to a profit. They have to earn a profit. Secondly, why don't we negotiate groceries, right? Why don't you go to Publix? Why don't you go to your local grocery store and try to negotiate? I'm going to tell you why. Because they offer a fair price up front. It's a competitive price. And if you tried to negotiate, they would say no. The reason why dealerships negotiate is one simple rule. It's more profitable to start at the ceiling and negotiate your way down. Now, most business models have, this is a outdated business model and it's gone away, and most of these business models have actually failed to exist. But because there's no competition to the dealership model, it rewards the most profitable ones, not the ones that are the most efficient. Dealerships are not entitled to a profit. Nope. What is floor plan assistance? So, again, all of these numbers, I hate explaining these things, and the reason I hate explaining these things is that it's giving you information you don't need. But floor plan assistance. So what happens is when dealerships get inventory, they normally aren't paying cash for that inventory. What they're normally doing is financing that inventory. When you finance inventory, you have interest. It costs X amount of dollars for every car to be on the lot, which is say that's $50 a month. Floor plan assistance is another number the manufacturer pays to them to offset that cost so they can float more inventory. So it's more money that they can actually go. Now, floor plan assistance doesn't last forever. Sometimes it's 6 months, 8 months to a year. There's a reason why they don't want to keep their cars longer than a birthday. There's a reason why they want to sell their car after it's been a certain age, because they stop getting floor plan assistance. This would only be on new cars. It wouldn't be on used cars. There's so many dynamics, but none of this matters. None of this matters to buying a car. Competition drives the price down, pin multiple dealerships against each other. The second you start throwing words you don't know how to defend, even if I explain it 15 times, if you watch me negotiate, I never talk about floor plan assistance. I never talk about holdback, never talk about invoice. I talk about what is the cheapest price I can get, because sometimes that price is below everything. What are you yelling at? You have a wait list. I mean, you can sign up for the service and we'll get you like through the system pretty quickly. But like the process right now, there's a little bit of a wait once you pay. Tommy, are you scared to debate me? Dealerships are entitled to a profit. Well, I have a debate coming on in 25 minutes. If you think you can debate that point in 25 minutes, I certainly will debate you in 25 minutes. But like the second Zach is ready for his debate, you're going to get shut down. I'm not scared to debate you. We've had one person that's trying to debate for, I've been trying to get debate for months. If you think you can make your point in 25 minutes, I will let you debate for 25 minutes. Hi, Kristen. Okay, then DM me. DM me on Instagram, DM me on TikTok. I will say, people say that I'm a narcissist, and guys, I think you have to have sometimes, you have to be a little conceited to be a founder that believes that they can change a multi-trillion-dollar industry. I'm okay with that. Like, it doesn't hurt me to say, like, I'm full of myself. I am full of myself, guys. Like, it would be insane for me to say, like, again, I'm trying to change a multi-trillion-dollar industry that nobody's ever changed. Like, that's insane to say out loud. That's conceited. Like, that's the conceited to believe that, oh yeah, I can do that, but nobody else could. I'm good with it. But like people in chat, like there's, I don't know, people in chat, probably 2,000 plus people in chat right now as we're getting warmed up. Like for somebody like I'm not reading their messages and be like, you're clearly scared of me, of one of 2,000. I've clearly read my message 9 times and you are afraid of me. Like, you think I'm the narcissist? Maybe narcissist is a bad word. I don't know. I think I'm conceited. Like I have a lot of self-confidence. Is that the better word? I have self-confidence. Confidence is probably a better word. I just use. Hey, Tommy, do you see the Callaway ad? Yeah, it's insane. It's one of the most. Let's see what. Let me just see what the word narcissist is officially defended as or defined as. Narcissist. Okay, a narcissist is a person who shows an extreme focus on themselves, a constant need of praise, and a deep lack of empathy for the feelings of others. I don't think I could be considered a narcissist. I mean, I think confidence would be a better word. Cocky, maybe, confident. But like, my entire business model is to fix an entire business model so consumers have a better life. I don't think that would be a narcissist way of thinking. Confidence might be a better way. I'm overly confident to the point where it's maybe annoying. Yeah, to say I was narcissist would say, like, if I was a narcissist, I don't think I would take care of our team the way I do. Like, I mean, I did an interview. We're talking about. Wait, did this guy DM me yet? Okay. I think Victoria thinks. Okay, do you guys want to hear this debate for 25 minutes? I will shut this down when Zach's ready. He did say 3:30 to 4, so there's a world where Zach's not even ready at 3:30. You cannot demand dealership inventory, labor, convenience, and service and structure while arguing it has no right to earn a return. Yeah, I'll call this guy. Fine. I don't know if I have audio. Sorry, where's my audio? Okay.
Hi. I'm a call assistant.
Hello, hello.
Hi, is this Ray?
This is Tommy. Is this Ray?
Yep, this is Tommy.
No, I'm Tommy. I am actually ready to debate here.
Okay.
But yeah, this is great. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. Okay, so your stance is you cannot demand a dealership's inventory, labor, convenience, and service infrastructure while arguing it has no right to return. You're saying dealerships are entitled to a profit. I'll let you defend your position.
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. So to go more into it, I believe they're entitled, where if they do it lawfully, transparently, they're not entitled to have the customer guarantee them a profit on every transaction. So I think overall they are. Every transaction is different, right? So as you know, there's losses on some deals, or maybe there's very minimal profit there. But since they, I would say your own business proves my point, right? So deliver charges $1,000 because research, and you're negotiating. You have the expertise. I've seen some of your videos, so you have a good amount of expertise, and the amount of time that your employees put in actually gives good value. So I think I can agree on that. I don't think your business model is bad in any way. I think that since the dealership's doing all these things, right? They have the inventory, they're paying interest, they got to maintain all these things, employ staff. I think, I kind of have a question after that too, but that's kind of a gist of why I think that they are.
I mean, just because you have
profit.
bills doesn't mean you're entitled to a profit. So, like, just great. I'm so glad you employ people. I'm so glad you have bills. I'm so glad, like, welcome to running a business in America. That doesn't mean you're entitled to anything. You have to solve people's problems, and profit is proof that you solve their problems. It's not something you're entitled to. And just like me, I'm not entitled to a profit either. I don't think any business in America is entitled to a consumer's money.
Okay. So I think, why would Deliver be entitled to compensation for working the front half of the transaction?
I'm not.
Well, so I would think, so I want to ask you then, why would you think no business would be entitled to it then?
Because you're not entitled to somebody else's money. And just because you have bills doesn't mean anything. Like, I have bills. I have $250,000 a month in bills. That doesn't mean I'm entitled to make a money. If I don't add value to consumers and consumers don't see value in my fee, or $1,000 worth of value in my fee, maybe nobody pays my fee, but if I did it for $500, everybody would do it, even though my bills are $550 a deal. I'm not entitled and I can't say, well, I can't even run my business anymore because you guys won't pay my fee, the fee I need. Like, this is not how like life works. You have to solve people's problems, and consumers need actual to show you that they see value in you and what you're offering. And if they do that, then profit is proof you've solved their problems.
Okay, so you would say your profit is legitimate profit.
Yeah, I mean, it's proof I have a completely optional service that teach people how to do for free, and consumers have to go out of their way to hire us without any ad spend, without any advertising, without anything. So it's legit. The consumers are showing, hey, we're willing to pay $1,000 because you're solving our problem, and we have happy customers and we have repeat referral. That's proof.
Mm-hmm.
That's proof. Yeah.
Don't you think that you'd be entitled to legitimate profit then by doing business?
No, I'm not entitled to anything. Because if I stop solving people's needs, then I will stop making profit, and I'm not entitled to their profit. I'm not entitled to money. Business is all about solving problems. When you solve problems, you make money. If you don't solve problems, you don't make money.
Okay, that makes sense. I could see. I mean, it wouldn't really be a business then, right? So if
No,
you're
there's
not
plenty of
solving
businesses
one
that lose
problem,
money all the time. There's plenty of businesses that aren't profitable for the first 5 to 10 years of them existing. Like, the idea of being a profit and that means their business isn't even true. I mean, look at OpenAI. They have not been. I don't think they've been profitable. I mean, the amount of, just the AI. I mean, there's a reason why there's an AI bubble, right? The amount of companies that are going crazy on not making profit but are super valuable. And again, I'm not even saying that's the dealership model, but profit doesn't even show business.
Absolutely, there's a huge customer base for that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but still, the business makes sense and they're still running. So, like, this idea that like ChatGPT is not like, I mean, we don't see, the CEO coming out and saying, well, I'm entitled to a profit. Everybody needs to pay $5,000 a month to use ChatGPT. You can't do that. And the reason why you can't do that is nobody would pay it because nobody would see $5,000 worth of value. Even though he needs that to make a profit with his user base, he can't do that. He only can charge what he can charge, and then people have to pay. And now he has to figure out how to turn around his business to be a profitable business or find a way to make a profit for his shareholders. That is his responsibility. It's not the responsibility of the consumers. You're not entitled to a profit. Entitled means that you have an inherent right to. That just because I'm a business and I decided to take risks, I inherently deserve your money. You should be forced to use dealerships because they have, as you said, inventory, they have labor, they have convenience, and they have service infrastructure. Good job. You've taken a risk that every other business would do. And if you want to sell your business tomorrow, there's plenty of people that will probably buy it if you can't figure out how to run that profitably.
okay. So you said that manufacturers, from what I gather, that you believe it'd be better if manufacturers could sell to consumers directly?
I believe adding more competition would be, I don't believe that government regulation should be allowed in this space. The industry's so broken that we should allow franchise laws to get rid of and allow the manufacturer the option to do it.
Okay, so even then, they wouldn't be entitled to profit either.
Correct.
So
there is no business in a world that is entitled to a profit. Nobody.
But wouldn't it have to be like a profitable business eventually?
No, businesses go under all the time. 80% of businesses fail in the first. No, sorry, it's 98% of businesses fail in the first 3 or 10 years. 80% fail in the first year. 98% of businesses never even make $1 million in revenue. Most businesses fail. Like, again, think about that. 98% of people who decide to start a business will never have $1 million in sales, not profit, just sales. That's how crazy the odds of it being a business owner is. So none of those people, businesses fail all the time. You're not entitled to a profit. You have to solve people's problems continually and every day and make yourself in a worthwhile situation in order to be to actually maybe make a profit.
Okay. That's pretty wild. I didn't know that about their margins. So I can somewhat agree with you, right? Like so a dealership or any business for that matter, since we're talking more broadly, I don't think would be entitled to a customer or guaranteed a margin. But I still believe that every lawful business is entitled to retain the profit. You know, if they're being transparent and both parties are in agreement.
Okay, new thing. I'm gonna start a business called I'm on TikTok. I'm gonna hire my dog. I'm gonna hire my other dog. I'm gonna pay them both $500,000 a year. I'm gonna buy a boat and a thing, and I'm gonna be very transparent that the money is going towards my dogs. I think you, for being on this live, should pay me. I guess I'm making about $1 million a month for my dogs. I have those bills. I'm entitled to your $1 million. Can you pay up right now? I got bills.
Well,
I'm entitled. I'm being transparent about it. I'm being transparent about it. I have $1 million. They go to my dogs. My dogs have a bougie lifestyle. Can you please pay me my $1 million now? Actually, sorry. I need you to pay my $1 million now because I'm entitled to your money. So can you just like hurry this up?
Can I be your dog?
No.
That sounds pretty good.
No, but this is what I'm exactly saying. Just because I have bills, just because I'm honest about those bills, does not mean I'm entitled to anything. You have to solve people's problems. And people are honest. People try every day and people fail all the time.
Okay, I think so what would that word, because I understand the definition, but what I want to understand more is more of what the word means to you. Because I know you're talking about the word like narcissist, right? I don't think you're a narcissist. You know, in your lives, like you wouldn't have even started this business if you were a narcissist. You know, you'd probably just stay in finance and, you know, do all that. So I'm kind of curious of what your comprehension, like what you think what that word really means to you.
Entitled means you have an inherent right.
Okay. But it seems if both parties are willing, then you would have a right to.
You don't have a right to somebody's money.
Because you aren't doing the service for free, just like Delivered isn't doing it for free.
There's no, again, the idea of there's no service when buying a car. You're selling a product. But I mean, either way, the only way that I can buy a new car is through a dealership. And even though they are offering a product, that doesn't mean that product is actually worth what they own it for. Just because they have bills, just because they have utilities, just because they have service, if the product isn't worth what they're selling, they're not entitled for consumers to have to pay that. So if they have to lose $5,000 to sell a car every single time because nobody's willing to pay that, they're not entitled to a profit just because they have bills.
So that means if it was worth their time, then they would be entitled to the profit.
No, they're never entitled to the profit. Profit is.
But you said if they weren't. So wouldn't that mean if they were doing that?
No, you're never entitled to a profit. Never, ever. And there's no business in America, there's no business in the world entitled to your money. Just because you exist does not mean you are entitled to money. You making money, the word entitlement means I have an inherent right. I mean, it is my right to have your money.
Okay.
Like, that is what, again, you're entitled to earn a profit. You have the right to earn a profit, but you're not entitled to the profit itself. If consumers don't see value in what you're offering, or they don't see value in the product, just because you have bills does not mean people should have to overpay for your product.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they're not. Profit's not guaranteed. No, I think that there's no promise of that, but it's kind of what makes the world go around. That's kind of a thing, right? Like, I would think you are entitled to certain things that are in society. Like, you'd probably be entitled to go to school because, hey, we need to go to school probably, there's something that's necessary as a lifestyle choice, not only for you, but your family. It's the same thing for your business, right? So if they had no right to earn and retain a profit, then I would think that you just make deliver free, wouldn't you?
You just said it perfectly. I just need you to go back. Profit is not guaranteed because they're not entitled to a profit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not entitled to a profit because profit is not guaranteed.
Sorry, I was trying to base it like as the question that you have said to me as a question. So by Deliver doing that, why wouldn't you just make it free?
Because I have the right to earn a profit. I have the right to try to gain a profit. That doesn't mean I have the right to the profit itself. Like, for example, as I said before, my cost on every delivered service is about $550. If consumers do not see at least $550 of value in my service, I can't say, well, you have to pay $1,000 because I got bills. Otherwise, I can't make this business going. I will go under because I will not, or people will pay below that and I will lose money on every deal. I have the right to earn a profit. I don't have a right to a profit. Just because a dealership owns a car for $50,000 does not mean the consumer should have to pay $51,000 for the car or even $50,000 because they have the right to a profit. They could lose $25,000 on that car for all that matters. They don't have a right to that profit. They have to earn it.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Like, that's what I said about, like, over every transaction, they wouldn't be entitled, right? But I think overall they would be entitled to it.
If you're not entitled to it on every transaction, how does one make a profit then? So if I can lose money on every transaction because I'm not entitled to every, then does the profit fairy come and say, oh, here's your profit because you're entitled to it?
That's also something you've brought up as well, right? So something could be not profitable for 5-10 years, and then down the line you could go up and turn a profit that you've been entitled to.
But why? Why in 5 to 10 years do they eventually generate a profit?
Well, the customer demands it.
The customer demands they earn a profit?
They do, by supporting their business.
Consumers don't care if businesses make a profit. When was the last time you bought anything and you were like, Chipotle, I demand you make a profit? What? Like, you've never once thought that in your entire life. Consumers don't care if businesses make profit.
Well, I support certain companies, right? I shop with certain ones because I want them to do well.
And if in a world, let's just say what's your favorite restaurant?
Ooh, you said Chipotle, so now I'm thinking Chipotle, but I'll say Wendy's.
Chipotle. What if I told you today, every single bowl that Chipotle actually makes, they're losing $25 per bowl to make you a bowl? Are you now going to openly go and say, hey, I am going to pay $45 a bowl myself because you deserve a profit? You're entitled to that. So here's $45, even though they're only charging $10.
No, I wouldn't do that.
What's the cost for Chipotle to make their burrito bowl?
Oh, that's a good question. They probably have.
You don't know. The answer is
there's
zero chance you have any idea unless you've looked at their books, right? We don't know that question, and you probably never thought of that question. And that's okay because consumers don't care. Consumers care, is this $17 bowl worth it? Oh, they're cheaping out on the meat. We're all pissed. Consumers get mad because they're giving us half scoops. So then they go in a rage, people are mad. Now they have to add more meat. Guess what? They lose profit because they're adding more meat. And now consumers are happy. People are going back there. Again, never a conversation was Chipotle is making too much money. They're losing money. Even Chipotle's CEO came out and said, hey, it costs so much for this meat. We're going to lose money on these bowls. Consumers didn't care. I'm paying $17 for a burrito bowl. I want the damn burrito bowl to be filled with meat. Like, that's it. Like, nobody cares about profit. Nobody cares about profit. The only people that care about profits are businesses. But they're not entitled to it.
So let's say in that case, they're not being transparent. So if we're doing a transparent transaction and we are in agreement of something, of a price, then I believe that they're entitled to it. I would want to ask you, so there's Chipotle, right? So since they have the right, like any restaurant, has the right to refuse customers. So if does a business have the right to refuse a transaction that would lose money?
Yeah, they have the right to refuse the transaction, yes.
So then you concede it has the right to require a profitable price. So I just argue that you're just arguing semantics.
No, the word entitled is the difference. You're entitled to earn a profit, meaning as a business, you're allowed to start a business and attempt to make a profit. What you aren't entitled to is the profit itself. Just because, as you said in your comment, just because a dealership has bills, they have infrastructure, they did all of these things, does not mean that they deserve a profit. If they do not, if people will not pay the prices of their car, they're not entitled to that money. They could lose all the money in the world. They're not entitled to the money just because they have bills. The word entitlement is the very important word here. Dealerships have no competition. People say, as you said, they have bills. They deserve a profit. No, that's not true. They have infrastructure. They deserve a profit. That is not true. None of that matters. The word entitled means something. That is the reason I use the word entitled. You can earn a profit. By all means, go out and try to earn a profit, but that doesn't mean you're entitled to somebody's money.
So I think we're like almost agreeing to disagree, right? So it's like, so we agree that they're not guaranteed a profit on every transaction, but they still have to earn it by providing value. But since you're admitting that they're entitled to earn a profit, I would say that you
I've
can't.
never said they're not entitled to earn a profit. I said they're not entitled to a profit. Entitled to earn a profit means you have the inherent right to try to earn a profit. Meaning, if you start a business, you have the right to try to earn a profit. You are not entitled to the profit itself. So I can go out and build a business and try to make a profit, but if I don't make a profit, I'm entitled to that right to try to earn it. What I am not entitled to is you should have to pay my price because I exist.
So you're arguing that against guaranteed profit, but I didn't argue against guaranteed profit. I argued that the dealer profit is legitimate when transparently earned. So I think you agree with me on there.
No.
You said they're entitled to earn it.
That is what I've been. You're just saying you're just now taking my stance and saying I agree with you. I've said the same thing for the last 2 years.
Well, if they're entitled to earn it, then that means that they're entitled to profit. Just
yeah, and I've always said every business is entitled to earn a profit. I've never not said that. I said they're not entitled to a profit. They're entitled to earn a profit.
Okay, so is there any dealerships that you believe that they transparently disclose a margin?
None of that matters. None of that matters. The
earned?
transparency, you have to solve consumers' problems. Consumers have to see value in the product. Dealerships are not offering a service, they're offering a product. Again, that is it. Now, it is 3:30. Zach time, so I'm going to cut you off here. If people still want to hear from this after, they certainly can. But I'm going to jump off here and get to Zach because that was the reason why everybody was here.
All right, Tommy. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Bye. All right, I'm going to go to the restroom real quick and then I'll call Zach. I have his number. You guys ready? Let's call Zach. Gave me his number. This is a sign. Hopefully. Call twice if it declines. I have spam blocker. Okay.
Hello?
Is this Zach?
Yeah, hold on 1 second here. I got to get you connected to, hold on. There we go. Can you hear me now?
I do. I can hear you.
Okay, cool. All right. I am
Okay,
not an AI
Zach.
bot.
Okay,
What's
Zach,
up,
this
Tom?
is your moment. Yeah, what up, man? You've been here a long time. You've said a lot of things. I don't like fake pleasantries. So let's just get right into it, man. I have no idea which point you're going to debate, but
Yeah.
we've
Well,
been waiting for this.
Yeah, what do you want to start with?
Yeah, I'll let you decide, man. All
All right, let's start with the entitled to a profit.
Sure.
All right, so you think, well, dealers aren't entitled to a profit. I would agree with that. You got to earn it, right? Advertising, so buying the right car. You know, we have to buy the right car, the right equipment, which leads the customer to the lot, and that's why they choose to show up there and purchase the vehicle. But you know, to go along with that, dealers are not entitled to a profit, but are customers entitled to a discount?
No.
Okay. I would agree with that. Sometimes dealerships advertise a vehicle at a price online to compete with the other dealers in the area, which makes it hard for you to discount it further from what you have it online for. And of course, I'm mainly talking used cars, not new.
Sure. Yeah, and I've never said that dealerships or that consumers are entitled. They're entitled, just like dealerships are entitled to earn a profit. Consumers are entitled to try to make sure they get the fairest deal possible, which does mean do their research, right?
Well, absolutely. I would say, I mean, I don't know how long it's been since you've been on the car lot, but I mean, I would say I'd say more than 80% of customers come on the lot have done some sort of research online of what they're looking at, whether it's the car, the price, or both.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing that consumers are educated, but salespeople are also trained to fight back on that and find ways to overcome those objections to get somebody to buy and overspend.
Of course, we're trying to overcome the objection. We want to earn the customer's business, right? So if the customer says, "I don't really like this color," we're trying to, you know, convince them that the color's not so bad.
Correct. Or convince them that you should spend more money on the same product.
I wouldn't agree with that. Well, what do you mean by that, I guess?
Do you negotiate at your dealership?
Of course. I mean, if a customer comes in with an offer, we'll entertain it. If it's something we're able to do, you know, we'll consider it. But there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of variables that go into that too, though, Tommy, and you know that. How long the car has been on the lot. You know, if a new car, you know, you deal a lot with new. What percent used cars would you say you buy?
We're only doing new cars at this point.
You don't do any used cars at all?
Not right now.
Okay. So if that new car, if you're calling, let's just say Honda dealerships, right, and you're looking for a Civic, if that Honda dealership has had that Civic on the lot for over 300 days, the dealership's going to be more motivated to sell that car than the dealership that's had that car on the lot for 30 days. Wouldn't you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I mean, I would actually almost make an argument that isn't even true because most of the time, dealerships are pretty savvy with that. They'd probably price the inventory to sell at that point. But we're using a weird one-off. I'm saying that dealerships as a whole on a car that's been a lot for 10 days versus 300 days are going to try to price that inventory at its ceiling. And then they're willing to go down to what their actual floor is. So the idea behind it is they are not pricing their inventory to sell. They're pricing their inventory to make the maximum amount of profit that they believe that they can get, but they're willing to go down.
Right. Yeah, of course we're gonna discount the vehicle to move the unit, but there are
imagine any other business doing that. Imagine a grocery store doing that. Imagine a grocery store priced their cucumbers at $3, but if you ask the right questions, you knew that they can actually get it for $1.99. Like this is just like no other business does this.
I'm glad you said that, Tommy, because grocery stores do that. If it's a day or two before the expiration date, you don't see them discounted. I mean, my grocery store does that. I would imagine every other grocery store in America does, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're talking about them discounting it up front and honestly in front of everybody. They're not trying to try to sell that almost one. It would be the equivalency, Zach, would be, let's say they had something that was going to expire on one day. They try to sell it for $5, but then somebody notices the expiration date and they says, oh, we'll actually sell it for $1. We're hoping you didn't notice that. That's the difference. Is the grocery store realizes it's about to go bad, so they try to sell it at their floor because they need to get rid of it. Otherwise, they're going to lose money.
But you just said the longer the car's been on the lot, typically the sales manager is going to discount that car to move that unit. And I would agree with that statement that you just said, but that contradicts what you just said. Because if it's online for that, if it's online for that price, if it's online for that price, obviously it is something that everybody could see, correct?
Again, if the dealership is willing to honor their online pricing, which you're here every single day and you see it all the time where they don't.
Right. No, and I'll agree with you with this, Tommy. I mean, there are dealers that don't do things the right way. But I guess the reason why I'm on this phone call is because I want some people, and I think you agree with this statement, that there are a majority of the dealerships, with maybe a few exceptions of a few bad seats here or there, that do things the right way or the way things should be done. And I feel like your videos and your content kind of leads customers into believing that dealerships aren't like that, and there are salespeople or people that are there just to rip your head off, per se, and that's not a majority of us. That's a minority of us.
This is the point I wanted to make, because this is the point you make all the time. You've made it in my comments. You've made it here. I want you to defend this point. When I do this all live, I show every phone call, the good, the bad, the ugly. To the point where you've probably seen many lives where I can't even get a good video out of it because people just give me the deal and it's easy. Like this idea that I show what it's like to buy a car, the reality of it. Just because you're afraid to look in the mirror isn't my fault, right? Like I'm just trying to buy a car, and this is where we're at. So I want you to defend how I show this in a negative light while doing this all live.
The videos, so you do lives, which show start to finish. But everybody doesn't see that start to finish skit, right? Especially me. You'll see me on your live. I'll pop on 5 minutes, I'm here, then I'm gone, and then 5 minutes later I'm back on, and then I'm gone. Everybody doesn't sit there through your whole live and watch it, right? So you take parts and pieces of the bad things that happened on that phone call, and you make a short video and post those online. For instance, the other day, somebody asked you, for a deposit of $5,000 to $10,000. And you had said before that, and your video didn't show this, but before that you had said, what kind of deposit do you want? $1? Mm-hmm. So he had said, we need a deposit, and the majority of people know a deposit in the car business is typically $500. So if you go to a dealership, typically they're going to ask you for a deposit. That deposit means $500. There are dealers that will do 100, and occasionally the dealership that does 500 will do 100. It's really designed to show that your interest in that vehicle is sincere enough for them to hold the car on the lot for you. And if another buyer comes on the lot, we're not going to go and sell that car to somebody else. So it's really just showing commitment from that customer standpoint that they're going to purchase that vehicle.
We understand the point of deposit. Yeah, we understand the point of deposit. Now,
are you going to? I don't know if everybody does, though, Tommy. So that's why I'm explaining that. So
okay, sure.
you go in there, right, and you say, okay, what kind of deposit you want? $1, and then he hits you with a $5,000 or $10,000 deposit.
Yep.
I don't think that was him. I think that was an insult that you asked him for $1, all the car for $1, and I think it was insulting for him to ask you for $5,000 to $10,000. But that short video that you didn't show that you had asked for to leave a dollar deposit. It only showed the portion where the dealer said $5,000 to $10,000. Now, my perception watching that
Zach,
video.
I want to cut you off here for just a second, just so we can make sure.
Sure.
The video we're referring to is there's two videos. I don't know. The one video, there's two videos here, which is dealership wanted a $10,000 deposit, where I go through this entire conversation.
Just yet, but it is coming in soon. What are you looking to put down as a deposit?
Do I get an option? $1.
So, I did play that video. I did it in two different videos. Now, you're doing exactly what, again, I've told you many times on this live, is what you do is you watch the video that goes viral, the one that is exciting. We post the good clips too. The good clips or the clips that even make me look like an a-hole. I post them all. We just piece these conversations. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube doesn't allow us to put 45-minute conversations on here. So that video that you're saying that I specifically hid, I literally have a 3-minute video on just the deposit part. And then I posted part 2.
Well, it's conveniently cut off when you asked him if you could leave a $1 deposit, and then it went right into his $5,000 to $10,000
Here you go.
deposit.
You
Of
got
course,
the car available.
Let's see if it's cut off.
It's a GMC Yukon.
That is not on our lot just yet, but it's coming in soon. What are you looking to put down as a deposit?
Do I get an option? $1.
Hey, they asked more than
Okay, Ken, so what's the deposit? Why ask me if you don't want my opinion?
So where did I cut that off? When was this cut off?
The video, I can tell you the video that I've seen, and I can't go on TikTok right now and show it to you like you're doing right now. But there's a video that you have online. I think it's your most recent video. It might be your most recent video. I put a comment on it earlier today.
You did. It's part 2. Like, it's the second video. Like, you can literally go. It was a beautiful thing on TikTok,
Tommy,
right? If you go to the
Tommy,
playlist
there
option,
are people that are only going to see that video and have a bad taste or a bad perception of that dealership.
how do I
in
show in a
general.
3-minute clip? If I show both, right? I show me being whatever you want to call it. I'll call it an a-hole. Me being an a-hole asking for $1, and I put a 3-minute. 1 second, Zach. I put a 3-minute clip just showing that. And then I make another 3-minute clip showing about the frustrating. So I show me being maybe difficult. I show the good, the bad, the ugly. I show them all in 3 different clips. How else do I do that? Do I only show the good, even though there's plenty of bad that we see? And like now I'm being transparent?
I think that you should. I think what you should do is maybe do some. If you post 6 bad videos, you should at least post 4 good videos of salespeople or dealerships that did it the way they should do it.
Do you want to know my policy is,
a majority of your videos, as you scroll through your videos, Tommy, a majority of your videos are the bad experiences that you've had at dealerships, with dealerships. And they're not the positive ones. You know, you state yourself that you sell 400 cars a month. Well, why do we see 8 out of 10 videos that are all negative against dealerships?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can explain that.
I mean, you got 100 deals. You sell 100 cars a week, but we see 50 videos of dealerships doing things the wrong way, either asking for, an unreasonable market adjustment or, various reasons that you and I both know. And then you have another video, then you have 10 videos of the good experiences that you had. So I just don't understand what would be the reason you would do that.
Yeah, for 2 different reasons. First off, I don't actually edit my own content. I have a producer that I hire, which her only job is to watch this moment in this live and put good call, bad call, and is it at all entertaining at all? And by that means good calls can be entertaining, bad calls can be entertaining. We both agree if I call a dealership, say, hey, is this car available? Oh, no, it's not available. Okay, have a nice day. That's not going to make good content, right? So if it's a good call, she writes it down. Bad. We then tally that. We decide the percentage of calls that we're getting are good and bad, and I put that kind of content out. So if I get 20% of our content being good, 20% of my content is good, because the idea behind my channel is to give a real perspective of what it's like. But then I said, you know what, Zach, you're right. It's unfair to make the entire car buying experience in 3-minute clips. So what I'll do is I'll make YouTube videos that go through and post everything. And then I'll make YouTube live streams where I do it all live. So if anybody doesn't believe what it is, they can watch the entire thing. I put all of the information out for the consumer to find. And if they only want to watch a 3-minute clip, normally they eventually find the lives. They see it, right? But again, if you see a 3-minute clip, you might only ever see the good 3-minute clip. You might only see the bad. But let's be real, bad news does sell. And the reason why, no matter if I post them or not, the bad ones normally go, quote unquote, more viral. But again, 80% of the experience we have are not good. Salespeople have a bad lack of training. There's very few times that I've talked to somebody that is just very good at their job.
But also, to go along with that, though, your business thrives off those bad videos, right? You're not obtaining customers or clients based off the good videos. You're obtaining clients and customers based off of the fear of having to deal with that situation that what you had to experience that you don't want them to experience, right?
But when am I advertising that at all? Like, if it would make sense in every bid video, I was like, "Hey, hire me to do this deal, so you don't deal with this."
Tommy,
I don't use that ever.
You don't need to list it. You don't need to say hire me, to be an advertisement, right? An advertisement could be anything. All it is planting a seed in that customer's head that you experience this at this dealership, and you don't want them to. So hire me for $1,000, and you won't have to.
Correct, because there are bad experiences and good experiences, and people don't want to have to deal with them. So that's why I post it
And
all.
there's good and bad
so people...
experiences, Tommy. Out of the 400 cars a month that you sell, do you ever have one bad experience?
Yeah, we have bad
with a
experiences
customer
and
of
good
yours?
experiences.
But a majority of them are good, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, most of our client experiences would be, yeah, the clients that work with us. I don't think that
Yeah.
would be very rare times that we end up being like, I don't know what you're saying. Do I have a bad client? Sure, we have bad clients. We normally just wouldn't keep that client. We would just refund their money if they're a bad
But
client.
is there a customer? Right, sure. Okay, so but my question is there a customer of yours out of the 400 cars that you sell a month? Is there at least one or two customers that aren't happy with your process or the way you did things?
I mean, yeah, sure, there can be, but we learn
Sure,
from that and we talk
it's
to them.
business.
Yeah.
It's business. Same thing with dealerships, right?
You're
So there's
talking
gonna
one
be
or two out of
salespeople-
400 compared to 80% of the calls I make, or even let's
And
just say
I don't
50%
know-
of the calls I make.
Yeah, and Tommy, I mean, I don't disagree. You know, there are sometimes I'm on a phone call and I'm like, I even post something I comment on your thread. I'm like, this is an advertisement to hire Tommy. I mean, and I'm not saying that you're an advertisement. I'm saying that salesperson that's answering these questions or saying the things that they are saying is an advertisement for a customer to say, I don't want to deal with this. I agree with that.
Okay, yeah,
There
but
are
again, I'm
situations
confused
that-
if I'm doing this live. And you can see, like, here's the thing, Zach. If 95% of all phone calls were good, and I did this live, we wouldn't have thousands of people watching at almost all moments, right? It wouldn't make sense.
But
If
you-
95% of them were good, you'd be like, this is really boring. I hate it. Like there people are here because the majority are bad, right? It's
Because
insane.
that's what they're entertained by. That's what they're entertained by. So you guys thrive or focus on those videos.
No, I'm
that
talking about live
make
streams.
dealerships-
Live stream, Zach. Live
So-
stream, Zach. I can't focus on.
Okay.
I can't make videos magically good on a live stream.
Correct. No,
So,
I
like,
agree with
live
that.
stream,
But
there's a reason, like, how many people are in this space
majority
right
of
now?
your views, I mean, majority of your views aren't from people on live stream. It's from people, you know, watching your short skit content, you know, those short videos that you post online.
I mean, you
You
can make an
have
argument.
more-
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the more people watch our short form, which means they do see the good, the bad, the ugly. They also see the pinned videos on my profile that literally says nobody needs to hire me because you can do this on your own and I'll teach you how to do it for free.
Sure. And I think that you've done that great too, Tommy. I mean, I think that in a sense, the car business, you know, transparency sells cars. That's what I tell all my guys. Transparency sells cars. And there are dealers that aren't very transparent. So I think that you've done a great job bringing light to you know, customers. You know, when a customer's there and they're just showing payment, for instance, you know, a red flag. You know, maybe get up and walk out of that dealership and go to another dealership. So I think you've done a great job on, you know, showing or explaining or bringing light to that for consumers to go to a dealership that is transparent. You know, but I think the short videos that you post are to gain or attract clients to hire you to do this. And I think that you do it intentionally.
Again, I'm obviously doing two different things here, which is multi-benefit. I'm teaching people what it's like to buy a car while then also showing what our service does, right? Like, that's obviously what any business is going to do. My business philosophy is I'm going to teach you everything you do, but I believe you're going to see it. And most people don't even want to have to deal with it. So you're probably going to hire us to do that, but I'm going to teach you all the skills so you can do it and get a great deal on a car. Again, you've even proven yourself wrong where I'm doing what I can, where I post the good and the bad videos. It is not my fault the algorithm doesn't pick up the good videos more than they do the bad videos, right? I can't pick and choose that, but I try. And if I was a non-transparent creator, or if I was trying to fear, I just wouldn't put the good videos out. It doesn't make any sense to put videos that aren't getting good views.
Well,
I would only put the videos that people recognize me and say, oh my gosh, Tommy, I know you. I'll give you the deal because you're Tommy. And then I'll be like, hey guys, hire me because you couldn't get the deal without me, wink. Like, that would be like the videos I would post because it would make me look better. But in reality, like, sometimes I do a video and it's like a 2-minute phone call. And it's like, yeah, I'll get the deal. Let's rock and roll. And those videos get posted. Like, we're posting all of it, but you're trying to make it a judgment on a 3-minute video, no matter if it's good or bad, is going to be almost impossible.
Right, but you said yourself the videos that you think or you think the algorithm is going to pick up and do well are the videos that you post, and the majority of those are the negative videos on dealerships.
No, it's the actual percentage, Zach. I want to make sure it's the actual percentage of good and bad phone calls. So, like, I'm giving you a real perspective. So if 20%, I'm not going to overemphasize the good. I'm not going to overemphasize the bad. So 20% are good, 20% of good are going to get posted. So I'm giving people real feelings. If they were just to scroll my page, they would actually go through. And that's what most consumers do, right? What most consumers do is they discover me. And once they discover me, they go down a rabbit hole, kind of like you do, Zach, where you're here every day. You're on most of my videos. You go down and you get upset. You get sucked in to the point where you're even commenting on the bad ones and you haven't even done the work. Again, the video that we're just talking about, it would have taken 2 scrolls for you to be like, oh, he did post this video, but you made it seem like I didn't post it. And I posted that entire thing. And there's plenty of people that are saying, hey, Tommy, you're an a-hole. Why would you pay a $1 deposit? People made that comment, but I posted it.
I posted on both videos because I didn't see this live. So now that you're saying that, I actually remember seeing the one video. That's how I even found out that this happened, was because I seen the one video, and then I seen the other video. But you're talking about maybe an extra 30 seconds you would have been able to put in this video if you would have put in there that you asked him for $1 to take a $1 deposit, and then he hit you with a $5,000 or $10,000 deposit.
Yep. So the reason being is super simple. So Reels and YouTube actually only allow you a 3-minute video, which is why we then have 3-minute videos that are optimized. So we piece this out into 3 minutes. What it would be dishonest would be me taking 3 minutes from or 20 seconds from the beginning of a conversation and importing it as if it just happened. We put the conversation in real time. And I post both so you have, again, and put it in a playlist so you can go through and listen to the entire conversation. So rather than listen to 10 seconds of a clip, but the idea behind that video, the second part of that video, is he is so obsessed with the deposit. I'm asking him for price, and he keeps going back to deposit. The idea isn't $1 deposit or $10,000 deposit on the second video. The second video is all about, I just want to know the price of the car. Let me go to the deposit. Hey, well, $4,300, well, I don't know. Like, that's the entire point. The first point of the video is the deposit. The second video is the whole point is that he is so focused on the deposit that he will not get to the price.
And I totally agree. That's wrong. You know what I mean? Why would you even ask for a deposit on you haven't even agreed to a price. Why would you leave a deposit?
Exactly.
Totally agree with that.
That's exactly it. You've nailed it.
Totally
You got the whole point of the video. So we both agree that video was valid and a valid reason to post it. But what you want, Zach, but this is the problem that I have right now, Zach, is we both agree that it was bad at how he handled the conversation. But you wanted me to add a 10-minute segment that would make me look bad without the full context.
That's not necessarily true.
You literally said I should have taken the 10 seconds there and posted that. Why would I have done that?
10 seconds and posted that you asked them for $1 if you would take $1. Why would you even negotiate a deposit if you haven't even agreed on price?
Because the first thing he said is, what do you want to pay for a deposit?
The deposit's not even on the table if you don't know the price. What are you agreeing to?
So again, that was the question he asked me. I think if you would agree, if one of your salespeople went to them and said, what kind of deposit do you want to pay? We both agree it's a stupid question, right?
100%.
Yep, so it's a stupid question. So yeah, I'm going to give
a standard number at our store. It's so one number.
1,000%, which is why he's getting a stupid answer back. If anybody asks me what I'm going to pay for a deposit, what consumer is going to be like, I want to pay $10,000? Most consumers are going to be like, I don't know. Like, they're not gonna, it's a stupid question. So yeah, I'm going to treat it with it's a stupid question he should never ask.
I think that's why he asked you, though, for a $5,000 or $10,000 deposit. Was you told him something stupid, he told you something stupid.
No, because the entire time he acted like he didn't know what was going on.
I wouldn't disagree with that statement.
There is no way you watched that guy's conversation and you said, this guy's clearly... Okay, let's just listen to it then. Let's just listen to it and see if this is really...
I agree. We don't need to listen to it.
Let's let the audience... We have an audience here. It's not just me and you. Let's just listen. Let's just see if... So the idea behind is that I'm a smart ass. He is saying that the guy is being a smart ass back. Let's just see if we believe he was being a smart ass back.
Ken speaking.
Hey, Ken, if you guys have a car available.
What are you looking for?
It's a GMC Yukon.
That is not on our lot just yet, but it is coming in soon. What are you looking to put down as a deposit?
Do I get an option? $1.
Hey, they ask for more.
Okay, Ken, so what's the deposit? Why ask me if you don't want my opinion?
Usually people, they will look at it as if it's
you asked me like what I would want to put. I'd want to risk $1 of mine, right? Like, what's your policy? If I put $10, like, is it just pick your own deposit number? Like, I'm confused with.
No, so usually most people in a situation like that, $100,000 car, they put anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000.
So I'll let the audience be. Do you think that guy was being a smart ass, back, or was he just saying what most people do? There's no point in his tone. He never once was. Again, he just seemed like he was almost drunk the entire time. Like, he sounded like he was on, like, more than anything else. The idea that he was being a smartass, but I deal with smartass all the time. I am a smartass a lot of times. Like, the idea behind it, that guy was being like, well, why don't you pay a $10,000 deposit then, huh? Like, there was no inkling.
Well, let's move on. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that statement, Tommy. I'm not saying that this guy may have not known what was going on, but what I'm saying is that you asking him, you know, that a dollar deposit wouldn't be accepted. I mean, $100. That's the reason for a customer to come back and say, I found something else. You know what I mean? That's the whole idea of the deposit.
But a deposit's refundable anyway. So like
100%
in theory,
it's refundable.
So in theory, a deposit's just more of a annoyance that somebody has your money. Like, the idea behind
it's
it is
not an annoyance. It's not an annoyance, Tommy. It's designed for the dealer to know that you have sincere enough that you want to purchase that vehicle enough for them to hold that car, where if somebody else came on that lot, they're not going to sell it to somebody else.
If you have the option to put down a deposit, and I give you any
and you've heard this before. I know that you've heard this before. But the customer that goes, if it's here, it's here. If it's not, it's not. And then they come back, that car sells, and they're there to buy it. And then they get all upset with the dealer because we sold it out from underneath them.
Okay, Zach,
now,
let me just try this. Yeah. Sorry.
If that salesperson didn't ask for a deposit, then it's the salesperson's fault. You know, I agree with that statement that the customer said that, because the salesperson never asked for a commitment from the customer. But if the deposit was given, that car would have been held for that customer. And those situations do really happen.
You're thinking about it as the dealership side. If a dealership or any business is going to ask you, Zach, take your dealership hat off for just a minute. Say you're buying a house, right? And there's due diligence money. And you have the option to put an offer down. Yeah, earnest money, due diligence money.
Sure.
Now you have the option,
whatever you want to call it. You're right.
Sure. And you have the option, and they will accept the offer no matter what, to put $1 down or $100,000 down. No matter what, they ask you, what do you want to put down? 99% of people are going to pick the lowest possible. If you can put $1 down, why not put $1 down, right? If you're asking me what I want to put down, yeah, I'll put $1. I would love to be able to know what happens with the inspection, what happens with everything. I'd love to risk $1. This is why ask the consumer the question if you don't care about their opinion? Most consumers are going to pick a stupidly low number because I don't want to risk my money.
Right, but me and you have already agreed that this sales guy didn't, you know what I mean? It probably wasn't done the right way. It was not done the right way. Okay, so I think we both agree to that already. I don't think we need to continue on that subject.
Sure, okay, sure. If you want to agree with me, I mean, this is okay. That's fine.
But yeah, I mean, as far as that particular skit goes, though, asking them for $1 deposit, him asking you for a $5,000 or $10,000 deposit, I think that's why he asked you for a $5,000 or $10,000 deposit. But as far as did that salesperson know, or was he in another land when he was talking to you? That could be a possibility. Yes, I agree with you on that statement.
Okay. Yeah. That's okay. Again, we're agreeing that's a bad question, and then you're going back. So this is, I don't know. The point of the matter is that I showed both conversations. So like, I showed both. So like, what point are you trying to get?
But a majority of your content's going to be against bad experiences with dealerships. It's 80-20, and you said yourself it's because that's what the algorithm picks up.
No. I want to be super clear. That is not. Wait, no, Zach, because you're putting words in my mouth. I'm not going to allow you to.
There's no
Zach,
maximum of videos you can post.
Zach, I'm not going to allow you to put words in my mouth. I'm not going to allow you to put more. How I do this, I want to be very clear. Producer Alyssa, she can raise her hand. She writes down every conversation, good or bad. And if 20% of the conversations are good that week, she then edits 20% of the videos to be good, 80% to be bad. Now, let's say hypothetically, Zach, I make a week's worth of phone calls and 97% of them are good. We would post 97% good that week. That is the entire point, is I don't let the algorithm decide what I post. If I need more views, what I'll honestly do is just do a deals video, because if you want to know what actually does the best for delivered videos.
So it comes down to how many views you're obtaining.
No, Zach, are you just ignoring me? It does not matter about the views. If I believe the business needs more views, I will make my own video. Like, for example, I did the Lexus deals. What Lexus deals you should expect on a car. If I believe the business needs more business on something, I'll make a video like that. That's nothing harming. I'm just letting people know the market, and it's very good for our business and doesn't do anything negative to anybody. But those are the videos that actually do the best for our business, are videos when I talk about the deals that delivered are getting at X, Y, and Z. That is the information that we have. People see that's valuable. People like the entertainment factor. There has to be a mix for the algorithm to exist. But again, Alyssa's job is not to what videos get the most views. Her job is to go through and calculate what's good, what's bad, and put that content out. The algorithm does not matter. Alyssa is not paid, looked at, or worried about how many views we get on a monthly basis. Neither are our editors. Our editors aren't paid on views. They're not paid on that. None of them are, because our business isn't based off views or based on what the real life of the market is.
But views are important for you and your business, right? I mean,
they're important for me as the owner, not views per se, but businesses. And there is a correlation. But I mean, you can make an argument that some of our most successful videos, the most viewed videos, haven't hired the most business. Like, again, if I do a deals video, like if I make a Mazda deal, like these are the best Mazda deals you can get right now, I will get more business from that, even if it gets 10,000 views, than a 100,000 video view of a Mazda with a bad experience. So the view count does, I worry about the view count as the owner, because I want to make sure we're getting in front of people, because we're trying to make a mission, and part of being a business is marketing. That's my arm. But I make sure that the people that are actually building the content aren't getting paid or judged off that. I just try to make sure that the content is going so we don't fall off relevancy. Because if we have no views, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's good that you don't, encourage them to post, negative or certain videos over another. That's a good thing. And I never thought that you would or did. But it's good to know that. I'm glad you said that.
Okay, so now that I've proven that's wrong too, what else? I mean, what other points do you have, Zach? I really thought you were going to be better than this, man.
Well, I don't know. What do you want to? What's something that you want to talk about?
Well, Zach,
one of
the biggest points you've made in this entire time that is I fearmonger people into hiring our service. You haven't at all articulated. Again, you haven't articulated how I'm fearmongering.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about, though. Those videos that you make are a majority of the bad experiences that you have at a dealership. You have 400 reasons to post of these good experiences that you end up putting a deal together. You can't tell me all 400 experiences. They all just say, "Oh, it's Tommy McClure. We're just going to give them go ahead and do the deal."
You understand that because we make 400 deals a month, we're making on average about 10 to 15 phone calls to get there, right? Like per deal. So that's thousands of calls that we're making. And that doesn't include the deals on live that never get told. I had a dealership the other day. Let me give you an example. I'm not using and this is, you look at Car Edge, for example, that's doing this. I'm not. I have a dealership that has a deposit. I want you to imagine this for a deposit on a Supra. That deposit, we have done paperwork. We have wired money to the client or to the dealership. It is all they have to do is the finance manager has to sign off and release the car. The general manager realizes it's the last Supra they're going to get, refunded the client all of their money, canceled the contract, and bought the car himself. That would make a damn good video. I could call that dealership out. It would cause a crazy amount of hate onto that dealership, but I'm not willing to do that. That's not what I'm going to do. That's not, I don't want, that's such a weird, unique scenario that will probably never happen to 99% of the people, that I'm not going to make it seem like that's a normal, that is, I've never had that happen. I've had maybe once ever. So I'm not posting a video on it. That's one of those deals that didn't happen on live, that happened that I could make a video. I could scare the entire world. Let me go do this. I could throw this dealership under the bus, but I don't, because that's not the reality of the car market. The general managers aren't going to try to buy your car from under you. Very rarely are there. So like, that's an example of me not doing this.
Now, did the owner buy it, or did they have a local buyer that wanted to buy it?
No, the general manager just bought the car.
Yeah, I mean, that's wrong.
Correct.
I mean, it's wrong either way. It's wrong either way. But don't get me wrong. It's wrong either way. It's wrong even if it's a local customer that wanted to buy the car. If a salesperson or manager has signed off on the deal, committed to selling the vehicle to somebody, it's wrong either way. But of
correct.
course,
but we would agree that's a pretty
that's local.
We would agree that's, I would say, yeah, it's wrong either way, but I would agree. I think we'd agree that's such a rare, unique scenario. Your dealership's probably never done it, right? If I made a video like that, we could agree that's probably fear mongering, right? I'm going through and making say, let me show you what happened to this dealership. This could happen to you. Probably never going to happen to anybody in this channel.
Sure.
Like this, but I didn't make that video. I purposely didn't make that video because I only show real things that are happening that could happen to consumers.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, these are live experiences that you experience. I'm not disagreeing with any of that.
This wasn't live. This is offline. That's one of those 400 deals you're talking about that now has to get redone. Client experience is now hurt, and I have to take care of the client to make sure they're getting a good experience. They're now happy. They're all taken care of. This is all just offline. So yeah, we do 400 deals a month. Plenty of those are good, and we do those all the time on live streams. We post them, but my team does the majority of our deals. They do out of the 400 deals, they're doing 300 and
well, maybe that's part of the problem then, Tommy. Maybe all your deals should be, recorded or something similar to what you do. So
every
you're able
single
to
finance
content.
turn you should do is record, and you should put it online. Why don't you do that?
You could create more content on the good and the bad.
Why don't you
not
put
just the
every
bad.
single turn that you're doing a finance presentation online?
It's hard for me to believe that 80% of your phone calls are bad experiences with dealerships.
Fact check me.
I mean, it's hard for me to believe that. I mean, I'm not going to fact check you. I mean, part of me wants to believe you in that sense, but in the sense of, it's hard for me to believe that 80% of the phone calls that you make are bad experiences.
But this is the beautiful thing is that I'm in a situation that you can literally fact check me. So if I'm lying here, all it takes is one car salesman to say, you know what, I'm going to show this asshole who's right. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to start tallying and I'm going to show you that you're wrong, right? But here's the thing, is you just completely ignored the argument. You're saying that I should have to post every phone call, good, bad, or ugly, with all of my team. But why won't you, again, I'm going to ask you the question again. Why isn't your dealership posting your finance terms?
Well, some dealerships do actually have, cameras inside the finance office.
Why aren't they posting those online for people to see? Transparency.
I'm not opposed to that in my state. It's not required in my state currently.
No, I'm talking about putting them online because all my phone calls are recorded.
Oh, you could never put financial. You could never post something like that, Tommy. You can't post.
So why are you holding me to that standard, but you can't?
You're going over personal information. You know that.
You couldn't blur the personal information.
I mean, a lot of it's personal information that you're talking about.
What about just the pitch? What about just the finance pitch?
There are finance managers that do that. There's
nobody that's live streaming their presentation. Oh, dude. Well, what I'm saying is you're telling me that I should have to go through and have all 26 of my employees live stream their days and post all of that content.
Well, I'm not.
But you won't even post one part of your process. See how crazy it is? As a business, I would argue one of the most transparent businesses out there. You know exactly what my cost is. You know exactly what my team makes. You know everything along those lines. But again, I'm asking you just to show 20 minutes of your presentation, and you're like, I'm sorry, I can't. That's insane. That'd be ludicrous.
Well,
no, my team isn't paid to entertain people. They're paid to get results.
You're talking more vague. You're talking about somebody purchasing a vehicle. We're talking about people's financials here. I mean. It's a little bit different there, Tommy.
Okay, fine. Then why aren't your car salesmen posting their presentation? Why aren't they posting their numbers?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Why aren't every salesperson at your dealership, every single time they talk to a client, isn't live streamed up to the point of a credit app?
Our phone calls are recorded.
Yeah, our calls are recorded too, but you told me I should have to put them online for content.
Oh, no,
every call we make here delivered is recorded.
No, I'm sorry. So maybe you misunderstood what I was saying, or maybe I said it wrong. What I'm saying is that if you're able to, if those experiences are good, you could create a 50-50 portfolio, 50% good videos, 50% bad, on bad experiences and good experiences within the dealership.
But I don't have 50% good, 50% bad, Zach. That's what I'm saying. 80% of the calls we make are going to be bad. That's me and my team included. There's a reason. Zach, just think about this. I do 400 deals and I have 26 full-time employees. I can't get 26 full-time employees. I wouldn't pay that as a business owner if all the if 50% of them were good. I would have to hire way less people.
Well, I think one of the reasons why you're obtaining so many clients is the videos that you're posting.
But again, if 50% of our conversations are good, because if 80% of mine were bad, and let's just say 60 or 70% were good on my team side, I wouldn't need all the staff. I have staff because it takes that many people to do 400 deals. Because 80% of the calls are bad.
Right. But the deals that you obtain aren't deals that a customer wouldn't be able to obtain themselves.
And I've never said that they aren't.
Well, you do say that you save on average $6,000 per customer.
Correct. That is our average savings.
Right. So to me, that's like if I was a customer, what do most people hear there? If I hire Tommy, I'm going to pay him $1,000. I'm going to save it $5,000. That's not the case.
I mean, again, from first sticker, yes, that is the case. But the whole idea behind it, again, people want to know what the average savings.
So that is the case. So they're going to save an additional $5,000 than what they would at the dealership if they hire Tommy.
If they don't negotiate at all, yes. If they walk in. From the average consumer, we are saving $6,000 on average.
And how do you calculate that $6,000?
Absolutely. We go through from first pencil all the way on to where our final pencil is on when it comes to the front end, add-ons, financing, and when it comes down to trade. And that savings equals $6,000. Like, for example, let me just do this one for fun. What do you run on the back end? What's your number?
I'm not going to state that.
Is it okay? I'd imagine because you are a good finance, we're doing $2,000 to $3,000. That would be. We say that we would consider that a good finance manager, right?
Yes.
Okay. So again, my client doesn't pay any profit in the finance office. If you on average are making $2,000 to $3,000, if my client then talks to you and you make $0, even if they buy product, I just save them on your average $2,000 to $3,000.
Correct. But oftentimes the dealership, let's actually get into that too. Oftentimes the dealership's able to get a more favorable rate for the customer.
Correct. And they try to use, and they use product in order to get that.
When you go to a bank, just like a mortgage, you just went through this, they hold points. That's how they get paid. An MLO is paid the same as a loan officer at your bank. They hold points.
You understand that the loan originator is not making any more money depending on my financing, right? My loan officer, like right now, if you mark up rate, correct or incorrect, that adds to your profit, which adds to your paycheck.
Of course, yes.
In the mortgage world, that is not how it works. If I sign a 9% rate or a 7% rate, I get paid the same as a mortgage officer.
Well, it's different. It's a little bit different in mortgages. Mortgages, you get paid based off the amount you borrow.
Correct. So it's not changing the terms.
It's 2 to 1.5% of the amount that you borrow if you're a broker. If you have somebody above you that has to get paid as well. But on average, it's about 3 to 4% of that loan amount. So if you buy a house for $300,000, you're getting 4% of that loan amount.
And again, it's the percentage of the total loan amount, not the terms of the loan. That's the biggest difference here. You are paid. One second, Zach, I want to make sure we're on the same page because I want to make sure everybody understands.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to buy a $1.5 million house, the loan officer isn't trying to convince me, well, you should spend 1.7. You should get a more expensive house. On the contrary, they actually cannot even loan you over 100% of what the house is worth. They cannot convince you to spend more because you won't get approved for the loan. So because of this, the mortgage is protected. On top of this, they are not paid to incentivize you to take worse
so are cars,
terms.
Tommy.
But
for cars.
How much can you get a loan off LTV? 130%?
There are some banks you can go up to 140% of retail. That is one bank. There's 99%, I'd say, okay, 90% of the banks, you're going to be able to borrow 110 to 115% of left side, plus warranty and add-ons and gap, Select Protect, that kind of stuff.
You can be above retail on it. And again, actually, I think with houses, it's like 95%. It's not even 100. You have to actually have some cash down unless you're doing like a weird loan. But again, the biggest difference, I need to make sure we're on the same page, is your job. You get paid more money, Zach, if you convince somebody to take worse financing. If you can convince somebody to pay 2% higher of a rate and you can mark up the rate, your paycheck goes up.
Tommy.
The mortgage officer...
Because there are some customers that come on this lot, or our lot at least, and the lot I was at before, that need to finance a 2015 Corvette. They don't want to pay that off in 48 months. They want to pay it off over 84 months. So you go to a major bank, just any major bank, Huntington. You go to Huntington and they go, well, we can only go 48 months on this. And the other bank is willing to do 84 months. And that rate might be 1% higher.
Yes,
it could be
but
1%
we're not,
lower.
okay, Zach, you're painting an incorrect picture. The picture is
How?
very simple. I'm gonna be very simple. If I get approved at buy rate at 6%, and I have the option to mark that rate up, let's just say 2%, 8%. You
Sure.
get paid, again, we're not talking different banks. We're talking about one bank here. You get paid more money if you can convince me to pay 8% versus 6%. Is that yes or no?
It's not convincing. Usually it's just presented that way. So this is your interest rate.
Do
this
you
is your
get paid
payment.
more
Payment.
money? Do you get paid more money?
The dealership does make money by marking up
Do
rate. That is
you
correct.
get
Yes.
paid more money? The person that's presenting.
Yes, we get a percentage of the total back end profit. Yeah.
Now I'm going to explain the difference because I want to explain the difference. For a mortgage officer, if the bank ends up marking up that rate from 6 to 8%, the mortgage officer does not get paid a dime more.
They get paid based off the total loan amount.
Correct, which has no impact on the terms of the loan. Because you are coming to them with that loan amount.
A lot of banks have already switched over to the flat percentage, so it's a flat based off the amount that's financed.
No, again, I'm not going to allow you to change the subject. I want to be, because you try to say mortgage officers. I want to explain why there's a difference. The mortgage officer has a fiduciary, right? They cannot get you worse terms to get paid more money.
I'm not saying it's worse terms.
No, worse terms means higher rate.
Mortgage loan officers can hold points on you. They can require you to put additional cash down to hold that point. Instead of you putting it into your loan, you pay that money up front. Go to an MLO next time you get a loan and ask them how much money you need down. See how complicated a $100,000 house, you need 5 to 6% down. Why is it always more than 5 to 6 grand? There's points, there's things that their origination fee, there's fees that you pay to obtain that loan. It's the same thing as a finance manager at a car dealership.
Incorrect.
Yes, we get paid to arrange that loan.
The Frank Dodd Act has made it illegal for a mortgage officer's pay to be changed based on the terms of the loan. If the terms get worse on the loan, the mortgage officer's pay does not change. Point blank, period.
If you go to a bank to obtain a loan for an automobile, they are marking up the rate. They are making money based off the percentage that you sign at.
The mortgage officer is not getting paid any more or less. Again, we're going back to auto, but that's fine. If those terms change, they cannot, a mortgage officer, like for example, you just said, if you can present somebody to say yes to an 8% rate when it's a 6% buy rate, you make more money. You're incentivized to have somebody take worse terms. I'm going to say worse terms because that's what they are. They're worse terms. 8% is worse than 6% no matter which way you look at it. There is no credit union or bank.
That's the way of the dealership.
There is no credit union.
That's the way of the dealership making profit, yes.
But again, there is no credit union or bank that is going to you, and the loan officer pay is changing at all at the rate you're getting paid. They're only paid off the total loan amount, which the reason why they're paid, and that's not even every bank.
And the origination fee and any fees that they collect up front.
Which is the origination fee. Yes, correct. They get paid off their, again,
there are other fees. You could buy points up front too. You could, there's other ways.
Yeah, but if the biggest difference is the terms of the loan. That is what I want to be very clear.
Sure.
The terms of the loan.
Sure, they're not holding 2 points for you on a mortgage. That is correct.
Correct, and that's the biggest difference. Is you are literally paid to, again, as you're trying to say it, present me worse terms.
But that's not what we always do. That's not
always,
that's not
but
the
sometimes you do.
case.
And if
Sometimes
everybody was willing to pay
that,
2.5% because they didn't know any better, would you not charge it?
Most customers know that dealerships are making money on the back end. I don't know what you mean by
every
that.
time?
We get paid to obtain that loan.
If a customer comes in and has said yes to everything on the front end, do you try every time on the back end? If the customer says, I don't really know what my rate is, I don't know my credit, do you try every time?
Try every time what?
If you have the option to mark up rate and you believe you can mark up rate, do you try every time?
No, not every time.
So so you just pick and choose depending on the people you like?
No. If a rate's significantly better and I can get a 3 or 4% flat with one bank, where I can give them a low 6.09%, or I can mark it up to 8% and get paid the same from another bank, why would I give them an 8% rate when I can get paid the same giving them a 6.09?
You want to know what the difference between a finance manager and mortgage? I'll explain it really different. Not once did you say what's best for the customer. You said what's best for you.
That's not true.
You literally said what
It's
makes me more money.
Are you telling me 6.09 is not better for the customer than 8%?
But again, your focus, your
What are you
mindset.
talking about, Tommy?
That is
That's
the exact.
obviously better for the customer.
Okay, then what if there was? Okay, let's just say you were able to get a 5.75%, but you made no flat or no money at all. You could charge 6.09 and make 4%, or 5.74 and make $100 flat. Are you telling me you do
Sure,
$100 flat every time?
Sure, the dealer in that circumstance, which would never be the circumstance, because a bank's never going to give you $0 to
$100 flat,
secure the
$100
loan.
flat versus 4% on a $100,000 loan.
Even $100 flat, they're not going to do that. It's typically lowest is typically about 2% of the loan. Period.
That's not true. What,
Even
I mean,
if you do it at
then your
buy rate,
banks
you're
are
getting 2%.
insane.
But
There's plenty of banks that are doing a flat.
Of course, you would present the 6.09%.
So you do what's best for you, not what's best for the customer.
We have to make a profit. We are in business to make money. That is correct.
And do you disclose to the customer that they can go down the street and find a better rate?
They're more than welcome to do that.
So you don't disclose
We never tell a customer that they can't go refinance.
But they'd have to bring that up. That, hey, just so you know,
terms.
you're paying a convenience for me because my name's Zach and I'm going to do your financing. You probably find a better rate elsewhere, but realistically, the convenience is I'm going to take care of you.
Could they find a better rate elsewhere? Because what if their bank? We've got a lot of customers that bank with a certain bank up here, then their rates aren't very favorable on auto loans. Home loans they are. Auto loans they aren't. So are we actually doing better for the customer, giving them a rate with another bank? We are.
Again, PenFed would probably be almost every rate you have that isn't an incentive rate. You guys
We
use
don't use PenFed. I'm not familiar with PenFed, but I've heard of them.
That's
but
crazy.
I'm
As
not
a
familiar
finance
with them.
manager, you don't know PenFed, and not even as a finance manager, I knew PenFed.
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I'm not familiar with them. We don't use them.
But again, this is exactly what. Again, so new auto rates with PenFed right now are in the 4s.
How many months?
Well, their thing right now rates here.
LTV? What kind of LTV do you have to be at?
So for their new auto purchase for up to 84 months, it's 5.74. At 72, it's 4.79. At 60, it's 4.44. And it just needs to be a 2025 or newer, never titled.
And no LTV requirement?
Again, they're not going to give us LTV requirements on a outside finance.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, banks are going to advertise, this favorable rate, but if you're carrying over $5 or $6 grand in equity from another vehicle,
great, awesome. Everybody who puts $10K down, do you bring up PenFed?
Yeah, Tommy, that's another thing dealerships do. We don't just sit here and raise people's rates. That's not what we do, right? We try to find a bank that's going to loan on your terms, and some banks
that
will
make
do
you the most
terms
amount of money
that you want, and some will not.
That make you the most amount of money.
It's not always It's not always the bank that makes us the most amount of money, Tom.
It makes you the most amount of money that the client will say yes to.
That's not the case. It's not always the case.
You just said earlier you are a for-profit business, and if you have the option to charge somebody 5.74 and make a lower flat, or charge somebody at 6.04 and make a 4% flat, you would charge the higher rate, even though that's worse for the customer.
We would present that. Yes, we would present that. That is correct.
You'd present both? You would say, hey, you can pay 6.04? So you wouldn't even let them know it exists?
We would present the 6.09, more than likely. Yes, we're for profit. I don't know what the secret is there. That's every dealer's. I mean, we're there to make money.
And you're saying that none of your salespeople talk about how great your finance office is. You guys never talk about how you guys use multiple different banks, and your job is to be the most competitive, and that you're working for them.
You're also saying the worst of the worst, right? What about the customer that comes in that can only get approved at 8.09%, and they come in and they get 5.74?
Then great, just disclose
it. Why is
it
always the negative way that you look towards dealerships?
Because again, there are
customers that we actually are able to obtain a lower rate for. So why is it always in your eyes that we're taking advantage or trying to take advantage of a customer when that's just not the case all the time?
Yeah,
at any time. At my dealership, at any time.
Doug, I'm going to explain it really, really simply, because you already said your mindset is I have the right to make a profit, so I will charge some. Again, we had no idea when it came to rent. If I can charge more for a rate and the customer would say yes, you just admitted you would do that. If I make more money and the rate is higher,
over 0.29%, we are going to present the 6.04. That's correct.
So again, we're not talking about the good customer or the bad customer. You're openly admitting it doesn't matter the customer. And I will tell you, if we're talking about a special finance deal, I get that there's some value because you definitely can get some people approved. But let's not be wrong and say that special finance, if you have the option to max out back end, you're almost always going to max out that back end deal.
Tommy, you were in finance before, all right? You would shoot it over to four or five banks, right? What would you say? Would you every bank just doesn't approve you at the same rate? Would you agree?
Correct.
Some banks are going to look at a TransUnion report. Some are going to look at an Experience. Some are going to look at an Equifax report. Some are going to see the repo that you had 10 years ago. Some are going to see the repo you had 15 or 20 years ago.
But what we're talking about, again, you're trying to make this more complicated than what it is, which is very simple. If there's a lower rate option, why not present it to them?
Because we are in business to make money. We are not a charity. We are not a charity.
So why not have everybody sign a form before they walk into the room saying, hey, just so you know, Zach has no fiduciary duty to you. We are a for-profit business, and I'm going to choose the rate that does take care of you, but realistically might not be the lowest rate.
I think customers are aware that the dealerships are there to make money. We are there to make money. Every day we show up to make money. That's why we're there.
Do you think that every person that signs your financing knows that they can get a lower rate?
We would not show somebody. We would not show. What's that?
You think that everybody that walks through your office, when you show them a rate, they know they can get a lower rate, but they're willing to pay more to work with you?
If the customer is able to get a lower rate, there's nothing that prevents them from signing paperwork that day with us.
I want to ask you this question: do you believe that consumers?
No, I just asked you a question. Don't.
Sorry.
If that customer, if they feel like they can obtain a better rate from another bank, there is nothing that requires them or makes them sign paperwork with us that day.
Some dealerships, yeah.
Some dealerships, Tommy, you're telling me that customers can't walk out of a business office or walk out of a dealership on their own?
Are you saying that there's no dealerships that require financing in order to do a deal?
No, because I know some dealerships do require that.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it's not every, and again, this is what we're talking about. Plenty of dealerships. You watch my videos. Are you going to finance? If you finance, we'll do the deal.
Right, because some banks will pay us a flat. All banks pay us a flat based off of the total amount financed.
So your question I'm answering, which is again, your question was, are you allowed to walk out? You can walk out, but then you can't buy the product, and that's the whole point.
But that's not every case. No, Tommy. You said some dealerships. Some dealerships would require you to finance there, but not all. Not all. And if that dealership's requiring it, usually there's a reason. It's either they're losing money on the front end of the product, right? So they're losing money selling you the car. You've negotiated a good deal on the front end of the vehicle. And that's how they make it up on the back end is how they make it up. Or there's some sort of subvented or incentive from the manufacturer to finance through them. Okay. Those are the two most common reasons.
Again, so, there are many different reasons on why somebody would require financing. Now I'm going to ask you the question I asked you that you avoided, which is, again, when we're talking about the actual financing here, do you believe that the majority of customers that pay a rate in your finance office know they could get a lower rate, but they chose to pay more to work with you?
Do they know say that one more time?
Do you use language like, I work with a lot of different banks, so I'm going to try to find you the best rate?
No.
Do you say you work with a lot of different banks to compare options to see what's best for you?
To present different terms, right? Yes. Find terms that fit what you're trying to accomplish.
And could you understand how that language could be assumed that Zach is working for me?
Tommy,
why would I assume that Zach is working against me? Like, why would I ever assume that the person selling me a car is working against me?
But we're not. We're not really working against you, Tommy. You're paying an average or a fair rate. Tommy, we're talking about 0.29%. Do you know what that does to a payment? Do you have a finance calculator in front of you?
Again,
we're talking about you paying 6.04% to 5.79 on $30,000. You're talking an average of $2 a month.
See, now you get to speak.
Maybe less.
Now you get to, and again, it depends on the loan. It talks about the loan value.
And it all adds up. But in the end, the way you're presenting it is like we're presenting 12% rates on customers that are getting 5%. That's just
I didn't say anything about 12. I was the one that brought up the rate example.
I understand you're not, but you're giving that inclination. You're giving me that perception by listening to you right now. Is that's how you're presenting that? That's how I feel if I was listening to this. That's how I would feel that you were coming across.
I gave you just real scenarios, but let's do.
Right. What's the base payment at 5.79?
Your difference is $500.
$5?
$500 on the loan for a 72-month or 60-month loan.
Okay.
We're doing
Okay. So you're talking about the total.
72-month
Hold on. You're talking about the length of the loan. You're talking
Correct.
about the length of the loan, correct? Okay. Now, what does that do to your payment? What does it adjust your payment?
So why are you trying to build this out in a situation that only makes you look good because you're trying to say, oh, it's only $3 a month? But sure,
Because why? Because you're trying to do the exact opposite to make
it's
us
$10
look bad.
a month.
Because you're trying to make us look. It's not $10 a month. There's no way 0.25% is $10 a month.
5.79 to 6.09 on a $50,000
how long of a term?
loan.
What kind of term
on
do you have?
72 months.
What kind of term do you have? plugged in
72
there?
months. 72 months.
Okay.
If you want me to do 60 months, I'll do 60 months. I just raised your. I made it even
No,
better.
72
for you.
72 is
let's
average.
Do 60, let's do 60 because
I
that's what I
figured it'd be
started
a
at.
lot.
961 would be your payment at a $50,000 loan at 5.79. Your payment goes up. So it goes down to 947 out of 5.09.
Say those two numbers again.
947 payment.
947.
Oh wait, sorry. No, I'm sorry. I mistyped that. One second. Mistyped it. Please hold. 961 versus 971. That's $10 difference. No, yeah.
$10.
$10 a difference. But again, over the entire loan, we're talking over $500.
And that's if you keep it the entire loan. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, and most people do keep it the entire loan.
But again,
or
what?
they trade it in,
But let me just ask you.
Let
me ask you just a super simple question. If I have the option for both, which one's better for the consumer?
What is the lower payment?
Correct. So again, we are looking at what's best for you in the business while still getting the customer to say yes, not what's actually best for the customer.
We're trying to make the most amount of money for the dealership, but still also take care of the customer. That's correct.
Correct. And now you wonder why people don't like the dealership process.
Okay, but it's no different. It's no different from you going into a bank, any other bank that you choose.
Great, awesome.
Tommy,
We should have people
it's no
defend people.
Than you going into a bank and you have one bank in front of them. You go into a Huntington, they have their rate program, and that's it. So it doesn't really matter what the deal structure is. It doesn't matter what the LTV is. It doesn't matter what you're rolling over. It doesn't matter, and again, you also deal with what? I mean, if your credit score is less than 660, you don't even take
openly
the client.
admitted
Is that right?
I can go find a better rate online. This idea that you're acting like nobody's going to find me a better rate, you openly admitted that I can go find a better rate if I go just do some research.
Customers can refinance or pay off a vehicle at any time with no penalty.
But why would I ever refinance when I can just get the better rate to start?
Well, then they're more than welcome to
Oh,
go
it's
those
because they're
extra steps to do
refinancing,
that.
you get paid, so you can at least get paid and then they refinance. So
But there's nothing requiring the customer. Sure, the customer could get a better deal on the car, maybe.
Maybe. But again,
Maybe.
there's no requirement
Right.
that I
Maybe
paid
they
less
could get
money.
A lower rate.
There's no requirement that because I paid less money, I pay higher rate, or because I paid more money. Again, if I have a customer walk in, and let's just say they say yes to everything. They say yes to
You
full
also
pop.
deal, Tommy.
One
You
second,
also
Zach.
deal with a different type of.
Zach, one second. What I'm saying is if I have a customer come in and they just say yes to everything, they're saying yes. Literally, they're not negotiating. They say yes to everything. Yep, I'll buy the product. Yes, I'll buy the car full pop. Let's just say there's added markup. Let's just say there's whatever there is. They're saying yes to everything that the salesperson's offering. And they put that desk on your deal saying they say yes to everything. I'm sorry, as a finance manager, you cannot be dishonest and say that you're not going to go full hammer, 10K if you can, make everything you can on that customer because that is a whale. And you're hoping they say, and you're going to mark up rate as much as you can. You're going to charge full pop on every single product. You're going to offer every product you can. And you're going to hope they just say yes to everything.
Let's go back to this, Tom.
No, I want to say that yes or no. If you have a customer that says yes to everything and that throws, are you not going to try to make the most amount of money?
We are going to do the best for the customer that still makes the company money. That is correct.
Well, no, whoa, that's not true because you would have given the 5.79 because you still would have made money that way.
We're going to do what's best. We're in business for profit, right? So
you make profit at 5.79. At 5.79, you make $200 flat.
Believe it or not, Tom. I mean, why do you make what do you? Okay, so you charge $1,000 a client.
Yeah.
Right. So why is your business for profit? Why do you have an excess of money? Why don't you just give that away to charity?
Because I earn a profit. Consumers are openly paying my service, knowing. So no, one sec. I want to explain it because I want to make sure we're on the same page. I teach people how to do it for free. I'm very transparent, as you've said, by telling people you don't need me. I'm going to teach you everything. It'd be different. Zach,
But your videos show
Zach,
something different.
No, but my videos literally say that anybody can do this. Zach, the equivalency.
80%
If you want
of
to
your,
use, Zach, I'm going to
80% of
explain
your
the
videos
equivalency.
are to fearmonger customers into obtaining your services.
No, Zach, you can't use fearmonger when my 3 pinned videos are nobody needs to hire me, and my pitch is nobody needs to hire me.
You do
Zach,
say
the difference.
that. You do say
I would
that.
feel, Zach, I would feel so okay with you doing this if you went up front and said, hey, realistically, my name is Zach. I'll be your finance manager here. I'm going to teach you right now. If you go call 10 different banks, you can actually get a better rate with what I'm going to offer. But realistically, there's a convenience of not having to call 10 different banks. So you're going to pay a rate that is going to be fair. It's going to be where we believe. If you want to find lower, you certainly can. Let me show you the 10 banks that make sense if you want to make those calls. Or you can trust me, I can do it, and you'll pay a little bit higher rate for that convenience. If that is how you sold, I would have no problem with it. But that's not how you're selling.
But
that's how Tommy sells.
But the consumers don't always pay a higher rate, Tommy.
But again, you're not teaching people, you're not educating people that they can go find a higher rate. You're not telling them. I'm telling people nobody needs to hire me. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you negotiate a deal. This is how you find it. This is how you do all the tips.
Sure,
Here's all the calls I
for
have.
the convenience.
Correct, and that's
You
what
pay
a
for-
finance
yeah.
manager is doing. You're getting the convenience of getting the rate through the bank or through the dealership versus going through.
But you're also insinuating that every dealer or every customer that comes into the dealership is paying a higher rate by going through the dealership, and that's not the case.
You openly admitted if you can make more money and still have the client say yes, you will. You've already said this. You
That
do
is
not have
correct.
any
Yeah, well,
fiduciary
look.
duty to the client. Your job is to make the most amount of money while getting the customer to say yes.
No, I wouldn't say the most, but yeah, we want to be fair. to the
Those are
customer
your
and
exact
all-
words. My goal is to make the most amount of money, most amount of profit. Those are your exact words.
for the dealership. Yeah, I mean, we are a for-profit business. I mean, we got
But
to
the
make
most amount of money for the
over
dealership, the
there.
most amount of money for you.
Let me also guys, so customers are aware, and the viewers are aware. If you mark someone's rate at 2 points, right? They get a 6% buy rate. You give them 8%. Let's say on 30 or 40,000. What kind of reserve does the dealership get on that?
It depends on the bank.
Well,
1.75% of it, 1.25 to 1.25.
75. The majority of banks are 7,500 splits, right? Some are 80. Some are 80.
Yes,
I
the
don't know
bank makes
anybody
some of the
above
money
80.
as well.
What's that?
Yes, the bank makes some of the money as the indirect lender. Yes.
Right. So okay. So do you have any idea on average, $30,000 or $40,000 if the dealership marks it up to 2 points, what that pays the dealership?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a $30,000 loan. I mean, we can do the math. I mean, but you're talking
I mean,
anywhere.
can you?
I mean, on
I'm
a
curious.
$30,000 loan on a reserve of the 2% markup, $0 down. I mean, depends on how high the rate is, but you're probably talking 500.
What is it?
1,000?
No, doesn't matter how high the rate is, Tom. It's the
500 to
same
1,000.
split.
500 to 1,000.
The rate, correct. The rate only matters, probably closer to 1,500 on 30,000. But
Okay,
the rate
great.
only matters. It doesn't matter.
I'm underestimating your
it doesn't matter if it's a 12% buy rate. It doesn't matter if it's a 12% buy rate going to 14 or 6 to 8. It's
Sure.
the same. It
Sure.
doesn't matter what your rate is.
Yeah,
Your rate
again.
is based off of your past credit history, based
So
off
marking
of
up the-
you making
okay.
your payments and showing that you can make those payments on time.
But
It's a risk for the bank. That's how they
what's your
judge what
point?
rate you get. Now, if you go into a bank, if you go into the same bank, you're going to be presented with typically those same terms.
No, they're not going to mark up the rate to begin with. That's insane.
So you're telling me that they're going to get the buy rate right if they go to that bank?
Correct. That's it, because they're already getting paid on the
That's
buy rate either way.
incorrect.
Fine.
incorrect.
Show me a credit union or show me a bank that is
Okay, credit
offering
unions are different. Credit unions are going to be the same rate. So
Okay,
you get
because-
the same rate at the dealership or at the credit union.
Okay, let me ask
Well,
you this, because this is going
I
to be
don't know
super
any credit
Zach,
unions that
Zach,
will allow
this
you
is
to mark it
I
up
can debunk this
personally.
in 2 seconds. Would we agree that if you mark up a 6% rate, 2.5%, that is no longer a market rate? If I advertise that I offer a 9% rate as my lowest rate, I probably will not get customers, right?
There's going to be you're still going to get customers that are loyal to that bank.
There is zero banks in America that are marking up rate and lowering that rate because you caught them. They're offering one rate and that's it.
Correct. Yeah.
So again, the idea that they would offer an 8.5% rate to start, and again, nobody is getting paid on the whole goal of that mortgage officer is to convince you to buy it because they get paid on the total amount of the loan. So why would they offer 8.5% when they're not paid any different when you could pay 6.5% and they can convince you to finance? and they actually get paid that way.
Are you
They don't
talking about
get
on
paid
an auto
any
loan?
different if you pay 6.5% or 8.5%. They actually don't even get to determine any of this.
Are we talking? Hold on. Are we talking auto loans or are we talking
Auto
mortgages?
loan.
now?
Auto loan if I go to a bank.
Yeah. Auto loans, it's the same thing. Indirect gives the dealerships oftentimes a better rate because they send business to the bank.
Show me
Without them
the
going
bank.
into the bank.
Show me the bank that beats PenFed at 4 point. What rates you're beating PenFed at? Who are you beating at
I don't-
4.77?
Like I said, Tommy, we don't deal with PenFed too much in our area, so I don't hear about them often. Now, USAA or Navy Fed, I mean, we've not been able to beat them occasionally.
So USAA or Penn, so you're saying there's multiple different banks that are able to get better rates. Show me a bank that you have that is getting better than market
Sure,
rates.
we just
because
had,
you have a
just had
relationship.
we just had a customer yesterday that got a better rate at another bank. We just couldn't beat it. We couldn't beat it or match it. She went there and got her financing, came in. We still sold her the car with a smile on
But
her
Zach,
face.
you do so many deals. How in the world are you not getting lower than market rates? How can anybody go to PenFed and get a rate from PenFed, but somebody like Zach that does hundreds of thousands of deals a year,
Sure.
you can't get a better rate than the market?
This happened to be a customer that had a local credit union that she dealt with, and they gave her a rate that we just couldn't beat.
But
Yeah,
Zach,
I mean,
if the idea is that
Does that happen sometimes, Tommy? Yeah, that does happen sometimes.
Zach,
Does it happen often? No. That's the first time it happened this year, at least. And hopefully it doesn't happen again, but it does happen from time to time.
Zach, the idea is very simple. If the idea is that you do so much business that you get an exclusive relationship to get rates, you should be able to beat
We do.
the best.
Sometimes even an approval.
Zach, stop cutting me off.
Sometimes even just an approval.
Then why don't you have a bank that can beat PenFed, which anybody can sign up for and get today?
I don't know. Well, I'm not sure.
Because you don't. The rates that you're getting are not competitive.
That's not true.
If your relationship got you better rates, then you should have a rate better than PenFed and said, hey, guess what? And now you have some value. You say, hey, you know what? Realistically, because we have so many deals.
Tom, there's a lot of variables that go into it. It's not just they might advertise 4.44, and for your customer, it may qualify for. I mean, let's be honest. If your credit score is below 660, you won't even talk to them, do you?
We'll talk to them.
You'll talk to them, but then you'll tell them that it's not a good fit, right?
No, well, if they get pre-approved, then I don't care.
Okay, so as long as
Like you could be. I want to be super clear in my policy because people don't understand my policy. My policy is Zach. My policy, because you're putting words in my mouth. My policy is very simple: is I don't refund you if you can't get approved. So if you're worried about your credit, I need you to get pre-approved and show proof of funds because I'm very transparent that once I do the work on your deal, there's no refund. So we're very open with that. We let people know. So
why not give the customer their money back? I mean, yeah, you put in the work. What about us salespeople that put in the work on a customer and they go buy somewhere else?
It's super simple because even you, Zach, that doesn't like me, knows that I don't help people with special.
I do like
Zach,
you.
Zach,
Don't put those words in my mouth.
Okay, Zach, I'm sorry. We're not going to do pleasantries that you act like you like me as you talk. You said that I fearmonger. You said that there's so many things that you do.
You do.
But, okay.
I feel you do. Yes.
Zach, I'm gonna explain because you can't keep cutting me off because I'm letting you talk.
Sure.
It's very simple. I tell people that the service isn't designed, as you knew, for somebody who doesn't have the best credit. I then go up front before we start your deal and do a consult and ask people for their credit and they're worried. I then go through and say, hey, I need you to get pre-approved. You're worried. Otherwise, there's no refund. So I give people all of the warnings in the world. So if they still can't get approved after they've gotten all the warnings in the world, I've still done the work that I promised. My job is not to sell you a car. My job is to go out, do the research, find the car that makes the most sense, give you the deals, and present you that information. If you decide you don't want to buy a car at all, that's not my job. That's not my prerogative. That's not what you paid for. You paid for me to go out and give you the information. There are plenty of, there's a world that if you're like, I don't want to buy a car, that's fine. We still did our job. You paid us to do a job. We did our job. I'm not going to refund you after that. Makes no sense.
Tom, what would you say to a dealership that said, hey, before we show you a car, we're going to pull your credit and make sure you're qualified to purchase this vehicle before we show you this car? And if you don't want us to pull your credit, and that's fine, but if you can't buy this car, you owe us $1,000.
Why would anybody owe you $1,000?
Well, because just like you've done the work. We did the work.
No,
so
the difference is nobody's paying.
Why do you charge your client $1,000
if you want to charge
you can't get it across the finish line?
Yeah, if you want to charge people $1,000 to do their deal, and then you tell them
the right thing to do. what I'm saying though is that if you're charging your client $1,000 and you're not going to refund them if you can't deliver them the car, why not give them their money back?
No, it's super simple. A, we don't even run into this issue. I can't remember the last time we ran into this issue, but it's very simple because people are paying for this service. You're trying to sell them a product. And it would be different if you said, hey, I need you to have proof of funds before you drive this car. So I need you to either get pre-approved. And that's a policy you have. I think it's a dumb policy, but you certainly have the right to have that policy. But I'm not charging the customer any more than the fee that they paid for the service that was delivered. You are trying to sell them a product, which is a car. I am selling a service, and my service is complete. Now, if you didn't sell them a car because you tried to get them approved, that's because you tried to get them approved. And I'd hate to say, but you probably tried everything you could to get them in the door. You tried everything you could to do. Hey, don't worry, we're the best finance office. We'll get you approved. We'll do all this. You've tried to do that because you're trying to sell a product.
So selling a service and selling a product are two different.
1,000%.
Two different reasons. Okay. All right. I mean, I don't look at it that way, but
let me
maybe
give you an
some people
example.
do.
I'll give you an example that we both agree on. If I go through and I'm buying my house that I'm sitting in right now, and I pay for an inspection on that house, right? I go get the inspection, I pay for that, and I now can't get approved on the house itself. Do I still pay for the person that came out and did the inspection?
Sure.
But Zach, I didn't get approved. Shouldn't they refund me my money?
A lot of people do think that that's the right thing to do.
There's no inspection in the world that you'd be like,
Tommy,
it's the right thing to do. You paid for somebody to go out, do an inspection. You're paying them for the inspection.
So
it's a third party that's completely unrelated.
I understand both sides here, Tommy. But these salespeople that go out and show customers cars who only get paid a commission to sell the car.
Great, pay them a salary.
You charge these customers $1,000 up front before you even pick up the phone and talk to them. Or
Correct.
one of your 26 other team members do.
Do dealerships have the option to build the same business model?
We have Shop, Click, Drive. You can go online, pick a car, click
Zach,
shop, click,
could your
and buy
dealership
it.
today change your policy? If I want to buy a car from you, you have to pay me $1,000 before you even talk to anybody at our dealership. Could you do that?
Pay us $1,000 to buy a car?
Yeah, correct. So if you want to buy a car from Zach's dealership, you have to pay $1,000 before you talk to anybody. Could you guys do that?
We would never do that.
Could you? Do you have the option to do it, Zach?
Suppose you could, but why would you do that?
Again, the idea behind it is the reason you can't because you don't have trust from the consumer already. The reason why we have to do it. No, that's the reason. You have to earn trust and be able to build that in. For us, we have a line out. Zach, I'm going to explain it really hard. I have a line out the door of people that are trying to hire us for the service. We have
your
people that are
videos have done very well for you. I would agree.
So again, because of that, I've done this from day one. We are offering you a service. I have to get paid for that service, which is why we charge the fee up front. If that bothers you, no big deal. There's probably another service you can find that's willing to do it for free up front. But that's not our service. We have the demand for it. People want to pay for it. We don't have an issue with it. But people, if you had the option to do it, you would.
No, I don't think we would. I kind of like the transparent business model of the car business.
How much? Wait, I'm sorry. Transparent. I want to make sure. How much profit do you make per deal again?
What do you mean? It depends on
how much do you run? What's your PRU? What's your PRU?
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable saying what
but
it is.
Whoa. You like the transparent model. What's your PRU?
We are a for-profit business. I mean, we're there to make money.
What's your profit margin in the back end? What is your entire your for-profit business? Again, we're talking about transparency. Just so you guys know, my expenses per month are $247,000. We make on average about $450 to $550 per car, but we have fixed expenses. What that means, if I don't do 247 deals a month, I don't make a profit.
Sure, I'm not going to go over a whole financial statement. I'm not going to go over a whole financial statement with you. But what I'm saying is transparency as far as selling cars goes.
How much money does your car salesman make?
A salesperson on average?
What's your percentage of commission? Is it gross profit? Is it per unit? Is it gross profit? Is it per unit? How's your payment? How's your commission model?
New cars is volume, so it's per unit.
And how much per unit?
It's a percentage per. What's that?
And how much per unit?
It's a stair step. Typically, anywhere it starts at 150 and goes up to 500.
Okay, and then what percentage on used cars?
23%.
Do you tell people exactly your profit margin every single time you sell them a car? Exactly how much the salesperson's making?
No. Mm-mm.
But my realtor does that. My realtor tells me exactly how much I'm making before I even work with them. I tell exactly how much I'm making before I work with them. Why don't you?
We price our cars very aggressively online, and we'll show you the book value of the car. You know, and we service the vehicle as well. But
so again, you're talking about transparency.
You go to any other business, they don't tell you, you know, this is how much we're making on you. I mean, I don't understand why would.
The missile is very simple. I said my $1,000 is more transparent. You said yours is more transparent. What I'm showing you is
$1,000 to a customer that doesn't get approved, and you still charge them $1,000 because you feel like you've done the work, so you
correct
deserve it.
because I've given them the option to back out 5 times.
Our salesperson's opened the doors, gone on test drives, spent hours with a customer who doesn't get approved, and you know what they get? Nothing.
Well, why doesn't their owner pay them? My team still gets.
Why don't you give them their money back?
It's super simple. My team still gets paid. You're talking about a salesperson, not the owner. My salesperson is
so
still getting paid their salary.
So the salesperson doesn't deserve to get paid? Is that what you're saying?
No, they deserve to get paid a salary. Why not pay them a salary?
Okay, that's a different business model. So we've talked about this before. Why don't you open a car dealership and start doing what you say they should do?
It's in the pipeline.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see it.
But again, what you're saying is your model is more transparent when nobody really knows exactly what they're making. I have no idea how much you make. We're going through. Everybody knows exactly how much I make. They know exactly what I'm.
Sells cars in the aspect of you knowing what you're asking for the car, showing and disclosing fees up front. You know, there's no secret add-ons. You know, things like that. That's the transparency I'm talking about. Transparency of what you're making on a car deal.
Transparency doesn't work in the finance office when it comes down to rate.
Say that again?
Transparency isn't all of it. It's just when the transparency enough to get them to say yes.
No, it's transparent. Transparency for selling the vehicle is transparent as far as not hiding fees, doing the right thing by showing the customer what they're paying for the car, what their payments are going to be, and not obtaining a different thing in the business office.
So let's just go through the trend. How am I not transparent about my $1,000 fee and not refunding?
Well, I'm just stating.
Transparency tells you said this is a bad business model.
People that spend hours with customers who cannot or decide not to purchase a vehicle, they don't charge them $1,000 to consult with them. You're a consultant, not a broker, right?
Correct.
Okay. So these guys are consulting this customer for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. You know, showing them features, benefits, you know, cars inside and out. If they choose to purchase somewhere else, we don't charge them $1,000
because they didn't deliver a service that they paid for.
Sure, they spent 4 hours with the customer. They showed them all the features and benefits.
And again, if they want to protect their time, they can certainly charge a fee to work with them up front.
So you're in favor of dealerships offering like a 3 package? You know, we'll test drive 1 car for $500, 2 cars for $1,000, and everything for $1,200. You're in favor of something like that? I'm not. Again, I don't think that should ever be the case.
Again, you are trying to go through a service and a product and trying to say the difference. Somebody is spending 4 hours trying to convince you to buy their product.
It's a service to show somebody a car. You're consulting them. You're
not
doing
a
the same
service.
thing, right? You're trying to find a vehicle that fits the customer's needs and wants.
And if the consumer has, okay, then fine.
You found a way to sell a car and make $1,000 per customer every time before you even pick up the phone.
Okay, Zach, I'm in favor of this. Let's do this. I'm in favor of you allowing every consumer to go through your dealership and say if they want to pay $500 to talk to Zach, they can, or they can pay $0 and do it themselves. And they can go test drive their own cars. They can walk around their own cars. They can do all the time they want, and they don't spend any time with the salesperson at all. They can pay less money and skip the salesperson. I'm fine with that.
They can do that. It's called Shop Click Drive. You can literally go online to most GM dealerships and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Cadillac. I mean, almost any manufacturer, you're able to do this, guys. You go online.
So I can buy a car in 10 clicks. I never have to talk to anybody.
That's correct. Well, no, you have to talk to somebody when somebody delivers the car to you, and you have to sign paperwork.
And you don't pitch any products?
You don't have to. Well, the computer will pitch it. The computer will offer you GAP and, you know, all these protection packages that you could choose to opt in on or opt out on, just as a dealership gives you those options to opt in or opt out on.
And I pay more for this.
How do you pay more?
How are you paying
If it's a
less?
price- Well, because they're not paying you $1,000.
No, I'm talking about for the dealership. I'm not getting a better deal to not talk to anybody.
I'm not sure if you'll get. I don't know what you mean. If you'll have a better deal.
Zach, what I am saying right now,
clearly listed online.
Zach, what you are worried about is a salesperson spending 4 hours of their time and they don't get the money back, right? So the idea is simple: make it less money to not have. Yep, make it less money to not deal with a salesperson, and see if people will pay more. No, but Zach, that is what I'm saying. Is my service is going to do that. That is what I offer to people. I'm very upfront about that. And we do a consult after they've paid for 30 minutes where we sit down and go through all of this and we explain all this to them. And then we make sure that we feel confident they're going to get approved. And at that moment, if they want a refund, we fully refund. But once we start, and then you have time after that call, because we normally don't start your deal for another week, that you could still ask for a refund and we still do. But once the services have been rendered, we do not offer a refund. Because we are offering the service of doing because we are doing the service. I'm sorry?
You guys are already making a lot of money, right? What do you need that guy? What do you need that kid? What do you need that kid $1,000 for? Give him his money.
What do you mean a kid's $1,000? Because they paid for a service.
Okay, so they paid for a service. It didn't work out. You know, the person didn't have a credit. They didn't, for whatever reason, didn't work out. Give him his money back. Move on to the next customer. I mean, it's just like a salesperson, you spend the time. All I'm stating is that the salesperson will spend the time with the customer. If you don't buy from them, you're not obligated to buy anything when you walk into a dealership. You could choose to purchase a vehicle. If you like the way the salesperson treated you, you like the numbers that were presented, and the car is affordable, and you purchase the vehicle, you choose to move forward. Nobody's twisting your arm to sit down in the business office and sign paperwork.
Well, actually, on the contrary, somebody literally the entire time is trying to sell you on the idea of doing it. We don't even have a sales team, Zach. The people hire us voluntarily without a sales team, just by watching the content. We don't have a sales team. We don't have an entire team trying to convince you to use our service. Then you go through that 30-minute consult where we just explain everything, right? And fun fact, our refund rate is about 15%. So like we have a pretty high refund rate at that point. Like we understand because we don't have a sales team. That's part of it, right? We refund if you're not a good fit, if we don't think you're gonna get approved. Like there's it's like 10 to 15% of people.
What percent do you feel are not a good fit? So you just refund them the money out of that 15%.
10 to 15% is the people that aren't a good fit or don't have the time. 10 to 15%. Okay. We want to refund otherwise.
And what percent are the ones that can't get approved?
Less than. I cannot remember the last time this happened.
Okay.
Like, right, again, you're talking about somebody that you already knew as somebody that you could say you don't like me, but somebody that's on here that watches occasionally on live and just watches short. You knew the fact that I don't take on people. That is something that we talk about all the time. And then we tell people up front. But the difference is a car salesman is trying to convince you to sell a product. And if you wanted to build an entire dealership model around paying a fee up front, you certainly could. And if the services were rendered, you would not have to refund it. Again, we use the same comparison that you didn't even answer before. When it comes down to the house, if the inspection was done, those services were rendered. It doesn't matter if you're buying the house, or let's just say you can't even get approved, but the inspection fails.
Yeah, but there's the right thing, and the wrong thing to do, right, Tommy? I mean, the right thing would be just to give the person their money back.
Let's go into that.
The customer would be. It would just be the right thing to do to give the customer money back, right?
How is that the right thing to do?
I mean, how is it the wrong thing to do?
What do you pay? What does my $1,000 do? It
didn't work out, Tommy. It didn't work out. Just give
what does my $1,000 pay for, Zach? What does my $1,000 pay for, Zach?
You broker a deal between the dealership and the client. That
Incorrect.
is what you do.
I'm not a broker.
You consult between a client and a dealership.
No, I do a consult and go through and do the research to find what a good deal is on the market. So again, Zach, the same equivalency would be, let's say I go do the research and somebody's not happy with the discount that's out there. I still did the work. I still did the work. The deal is still done.
Do you post online what deals you obtain?
Yes, all the time.
Like, oh, you do? So, like, I can go on your website or something and see how much you paid for a Raptor R or...
you can watch the lives,
What is going on with the Lexus market? I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. If you're considering buying a Lexus...
Oh, to watch a video. So it's on a video.
In a 3-minute video, I break down every single Lexus deal that you can... Yes, it's
Why
in a
don't you
video.
Why don't you just post like a real, like a spreadsheet or a sheet online that just says, hey, I purchased a Corolla for X amount of dollars in this area, and let customers know so they know what a fair deal is. I mean, essentially what you've done is, I mean, KBB will tell you fair deal, unfair deal.
KBB will not tell you
And
fair deal on a car.
A lot of customers on your live, what I see is they're asking, hey, is this a fair deal on this car? Or is this a fair deal on this car? Why not just post the deals that you're obtaining and just let everybody know what kind of deal you're actually really striking with these dealerships?
Again, I verbally tell people and put it on video, but the idea of putting our market research and our data, which is proprietary for our competition, for free just to utilize, doesn't make any sense. We are as transparent as possible.
Well,
so Zach, things that I do for Zach, one second. Zach, I want to be what I do for people. So first off, we answer every single email, DM that comes in asking for help for free without any charge. I don't charge for a service. I have a free car buying checklist for anybody that can absolutely use that. I go through on the lives and answer as many questions as I humanly can. Go with people. I then have a newsletter that doesn't sell people on anything, that literally goes through an in-depth market supply. And then once a month, I go in a deep dive on the entire market. The problem is that giving just a generic number is almost impossible because every single car market dealership is different. But no, the idea behind me giving all my proprietary information out so everybody can have, no, it's not something I want to do. I try to give it out the best I can, but I'm not going to just, I appreciate it. If you want to build your own business.
So you think dealerships, so transparency for them, but not for I.
How am I not transparent?
You want to know what we're making.
Because I'm not making.
You want to know what the dealerships are making front and back of every deal.
I don't care what they make front and back. When was the last time I asked somebody for
You just asked me and told me that I wasn't being transparent because I wasn't telling you that.
Correct, because I'm saying you're not. Okay, so Zach, ask me the same question. Give me any car.
Okay, so transparency would sell. Why aren't you transparent on what deals you really strike?
I am, Zach. Ask me any car. Watch the difference. I don't want to see because I'm not comfortable. It's different. Any car, name it. Name the car.
Maybe is it because the deals that you're really striking aren't very, maybe they're average or average at best deals.
Sure. You want to play this game? We start in the game. You want me to go through the last 5, 10, or 20 deals that we've done?
I'll go through the game here. I'm just stating. I'm just reiterating what you're telling me. That's all I'm saying right here. You Zach, want us to be transparent, but you don't want to be transparent. You don't feel like this. You have to be transparent all.
Zach, you're trying to really find. There's a big difference. I'm going to explain the difference because I'm not going to let you cut me off here. The difference is if you ask me, I'll tell you. I'm not putting the information open so my competitors just have a free database of every single deal we're negotiating. But I will, again, do you want me to go through the last 5, 10, 20, or 50 deals we've done this week?
What does it matter if they know? What does it matter if these other car brokers know?
Because it's competitive information. There's the same reason why you want a T-sheet when you're actually going through and making sure other people are doing it. You want to see the T-sheet for that competitive information.
I mean, I would just feel it's more transparent if you posted the deals that you actually obtained.
And how many consumers, Zach, let me ask you this. How many consumers have you seen? Because I'm not an auto broker. That's the difference. I'm not helping dealerships sell cars.
I think all auto consultants should have to do that.
Okay, I'll explain exactly the difference here. An auto broker is helping a dealership sell a car. So they have a preset number that they've already negotiated before, which is why they can advertise it. For me, I'm a consultant. So somebody hires me and I go do the research. I don't have a pre-existing relationship that has a preset number every single time. That's the difference. That's why a broker can advertise the deal that they're getting because they are helping somebody sell a car. I'm helping somebody purchase. So I can't just give you a number. This is why I say it's not.
I'm not here. I see what you're saying. I mean, I'm not here to debate if you're a broker consultant. I don't care. It is what it is. I mean, whatever you want to call yourself, that's fine.
You're saying that I'm not transparent, but I'm willing to give you all of the information right now.
The deals you obtain, you should post online for everybody to see so they know. What they feel is a fair deal.
Fine.
Because maybe when they go to a dealership, Tommy, they go through the process. They feel like they're getting a good deal, and when they see that you've just obtained that deal, maybe they're obtaining a deal even better than what you've got, and they'll be able to see online. Geez, Tommy bought this for $2,000 more than what I just got. I'm just going to go ahead and buy it and I didn't have to pay the guy $1,000 to do it.
Sure. Hey, Zach, would you say your dealership's transparent?
We try to be very transparent with customers. Will we disclose our front end and back ends and stuff? I would suppose no. We're not
Zach, Zach, where can I please see?
Maybe the dealership owner would if they want to get on there with you and do that. They can. But
so Zach, can I please get your Excel sheet of all the deals that you've sold and the exact price they sold, the back end they sold, and the products they sold?
We have all of our prices online.
But you're saying you negotiate those prices.
We would consider a number if the
So
customer
why
being
not
fair.
post
Yeah, I mean,
all of the cars you sold every single day and the exact price you sold them at? Every single day, put an Excel sheet out. Where's your Excel sheet? With back
Yeah,
end,
I mean,
exactly the rate they qualified for and the rate you marked it up at. And the back end product and the warranty, and put that out so everybody can see it.
Well, that would be more rate. I mean, it would be more customer personal information. I mean,
But
you could really match-
nobody knows the customer. Just put you're asking me to put the same information out. I don't have to tell anybody the customer name. I can do that. I sold a Toyota Sienna Woodland, $3,921 off. A Kia Sportage SX Prestige Hybrid, $1,925 off.
I feel like we're just going back and forth here at this point. But I see what you're saying. But what I'm saying is,
but again, you're saying that I'm not being transparent.
Well, no. All I'm stating is that consumers on your end, oftentimes when I'm on your live, customers are asking, "Hey, is this a good deal on this car?"
But Zach, the difference is,
why,
have you found a single consumer that says, Tommy, I think it's very dishonest and not transparent that you don't have an Excel sheet?
customers
They're asking
don't know
me because I have valuable
customers don't
information.
know.
And
Customers
most people are
clients don't
charging
know
for
if
this
it's a good
information.
deal or not. You're just telling them it is.
The difference is most
And it
people are
might be.
charging
It
for that
very well
advice.
could be.
Zach, most
And it
people are
very well
charging
could be.
if you want to go talk to any of the other people, you pay for their advice.
True. Well, I mean, you right.
I don't charge for advice.
Sure.
And
Well,
again,
either
if
way,
you want to know any
I
car,
understand
any
that too,
price,
but-
any vehicle, I will let you know. So that is the difference of transparency. The difference is I don't put it on an Excel sheet.
What I will say, Tommy, is you've done great in the sense of, showing customers the right way essentially to buy a car. Do your research before you come in. Make sure, if you feel uncomfortable with the situation, get up and leave. Don't sit there. Don't stay there. If salespeople or sales dealerships are adding stuff to your loan or adding stuff to a proposal sheet or mandatory add-ons, get up and go to another dealership. And I think you've done great at showing that. I don't have anything against that. I just feel like the videos and the content that you post oftentimes paint a negative view on a dealership, on all dealerships. And there are some dealerships that do try to do things the correct way. And they're truthful, they're honest. Yes, dealerships are for profit. None of them that I know of. There might be one that's for charity. I have no idea, but we are there to make money, but also be fair to the customer. And
Have I ever said otherwise?
You have not. But you're the things that you say or the things that the perception becomes reality, right? So you might not say these things, Tommy, and you may say, hey, you don't need to pay me to do this. You could do this yourself. And then you post a video of a terrible experience, and then a customer, especially, I don't know what age group a majority of your clients are, but I feel like a majority of them may be older, and I could be completely wrong. But in the same sense, it's just a matter of somebody seeing that video and being like, geez, I really don't want to experience that. And if I could pay $1,000 and have somebody else say that I got a good deal, I'll feel more comfortable thinking I got a good deal because he said I got a good deal. And, that's all. I think that you've done a great job, though, explaining to customers that some of these shady dealerships are just terrible. And I've worked with some of them before. Like the things that they would do, I'm just appalled at. I'm not there anymore. I left for those reasons. So I know it does happen. So, I'm glad you brought light in the sense of that. But a majority of the dealerships that you're going to go out and talk to for the rest of the consumers are honest.
But that is the fear. See, that is what you're doing. Is I have actual proof. How many times, Zach? How many dealerships do you talk to on a daily basis?
None. I mean,
so how can you, with confidence, say the majority of dealerships consumers will talk to when completely ignoring the evidence that I have of the thousands of hours that I make phone calls? That is the difference between me and you. Is you are fear mongering people believing that majority are without any evidence at all.
No. So I know a lot of people, and so do I talk to dealerships every day? No, that's the answer to that question. Do I know a lot of people that are in the car business that are good, honest people? Yes. In my area, yes, I know a lot of them. I know a lot of them at different dealerships as well, and I talk to them. Some daily.
And you buy cars from them?
Well, I would buy cars from them, yes.
No, you buy cars from them. You've seen their process.
No,
you've gone through
I do not buy cars from them, but I know that they're trying to do things the best they can in the right way.
So you're just taking people's word for it.
I'm not.
You're using anecdotal evidence and completely ignoring the
Tommy,
thousands of hours that I have of footage.
You have 26 people making these phone calls for you. How many of the 400 deals a month do you do? You personally?
At this point, about 20.
Okay, so 380 of those car deals, nobody ever knows if it's a good experience.
Okay, Zach,
380
go back. Okay.
of those deals.
Yep, Zach. Okay, this is so easily debunked because I used to do 100% of them and all of its live stream footage, and the stats haven't changed at all. We literally have footage of when I was doing all of the deals in the company, and the stats have not changed at all.
You've done a great job showing people the right way to buy a vehicle. Transparency sells cars. I agree with most of the things that you say, but I do feel like sometimes the things that you say give the perception of a dealership or the dealership model a bad name, and not all dealerships are that way.
Again, I never said all, and this is the problem: is you're trying to make this
right.
like point or like make this sticking point.
Reality, Tommy. So
but again, if I'm showing the good and showing the bad and showing all of them, how can I? Let me ask you: how can I be more perceptive? If I use the exact percentage of deals that are good or bad,
I've already said it to you many.
No,
I've already said it to you many times. Post more of the good things, Tommy. Post more of the good things.
But that would be like you saying the majority of dealerships are good when I see that's not true.
Okay, so your experience is...
So you want me to inflate the good dealerships and make sure I don't show as much as the bad, even though statistically that is the calls you're going to get. You said earlier in this phone call that a majority of your content that you post for views is negative. That's your highest viewing content. That is not what I said.
You said in the beginning of this conversation.
No, what I said.
The majority of your views are from the videos that are bad experiences at dealerships.
I said the videos that are most popular and get the most views are the ones that are negative, not because I post only negative.
Yeah. Sure.
But if I'm posting all of it, I can't control who watches the content. But I am doing what I can as a business owner by posting the good and the bad. What you're saying to do is more transparent, is to add additional good calls, even though that's not the percentage, just to make you look better?
No, I'm just saying add more of the good. You have 400 good experiences a month at least.
And we have 1,600 bad ones.
Okay, so we'll continue to see 80% bad, 20% good, because the 80% of the videos that are negative to dealerships give Tommy business. They obtain you business.
No,
that is your
if we call 2,000 dealers a month,
videos.
400 will give deals. And out of those 400 that'll give deals, it might only be 300 actual dealerships. Even though, again, that's assuming that we only called 2,000 dealerships. So that is the percentage.
Well, I mean, either way, we could go back and forth on this, till we're blue in the face. But in the end, I mean, that's the way, most of us car dealership people look at it, is that's how your business model or the perception that you give dealers or you paint, the picture you paint is very negative towards dealerships.
Do dealerships paint negative experiences about themselves? Do they post the negative ones?
Well, you didn't let me finish that. You cut me off there. You didn't let me finish it. But yeah, some of those dealerships do need that negative picture painted.
Is there any dealership that you can name on social media today that is posting negative experiences they've had?
Posting what?
Like, again, you're telling me that I should have to be posting more good and bad experiences. Is there any dealership that is advertising themselves in a negative light or advertising anything other than the positive experiences? Is there any business in the world that isn't advertising the benefit of their consumer? For me, again, you're getting mad because people aren't watching the good experiences. And to be fair, we're not even talking like that difference of views.
No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad that they're not watching the good experiences. I'm mad that or not even mad. I'm just disappointed that you're posting 8 bad videos to 2 good videos, right? And at one point, we went through your TikTok, Tommy. It was 9 to 10 negative videos for 1 good one. And then when we started saying something on your lives and we started posting, then you were like, you know what? No, he's actually right. We should start posting more good content.
I don't even remember this conversation. But again, my producer is the one that picked. I don't control any of this. And what I mean by that, I have a producer that is a third party that I pay that is not even on the...
You're the owner of the company, right?
Zach, I'm going to be super clear. Yes, I'm the owner of the company, but I want to make sure that I don't have implicit bias. So Alyssa is not a W-2 employee at Delivered. She is a 1099, meaning that her only job is to go through and make sure the content's there. And then she gives that to the editors. And she lets them know, these are the calls that we're going to do. These are the videos we're going to edit. She controls all of that. I then get all of those videos, and I don't even, and then Alyssa actually goes through and approves and denies them. Is this good? Is this bad? Do we need to change something? Was something not blurred? Anything? And then she gives them to me. I then post those videos. So I am not at all going through and picking, oh, we don't have enough bad ones this week. Let's go through that. I have a third party that is coming in.
But you're choosing
and
to post them or not. It's your decision.
I post all of them.
Right.
I'm sorry. This is we're only talking on TikTok because I don't post them, and the only reason I'm the only one to post them. No. I want to make sure we're super clear. I don't post them on YouTube. I don't post them on Meta. The only platform I post them on is TikTok because TikTok doesn't allow business platform, so only one person can sign in, and I don't want to give my TikTok logins to anybody. That's insane. So I keep that and I post it. But if you look at our Instagram and you look at this, our Instagram's a little behind. But so you might see a video that's 2 or 3 days old compared to TikTok.
And I don't see any of that aspect. And so I'm glad that you do that. You know what I mean? I don't see you on, I don't watch you on, YouTube or Instagram or any of those other channels. So I'm glad to know that you're doing it. And I'm not, but I'm just saying in general, that's the picture that you paint for dealerships is really negative.
But how can I paint? You're saying you're giving me acknowledgement for doing it right. How can I paint a different picture other than the actual picture? I'm giving you acknowledgement.
No. I'm giving you acknowledgement for you showing consumers the right way to buy a vehicle, right?
And the good and the bad.
So before you go to the dealership, you do your research. Make sure that they're asking a fair price for the vehicle. But a lot of the experiences that a customer gets at a dealership can also be the way that they want it to go, right? So that consumer that comes on the lot for a vehicle that's on our lot for 90 days, we have that. Typically, we have that for about $500 below what we have into it. So obviously, that's going to be lower than NADA, KBB, Black Book. Any book that you bring out, it's going to be lower than that. And if that customer comes in and they're being unreasonable and want another $2,000 off, we just can't do that. That's not saying that we're not being, we're not bad for not doing that. We're already below the book value of the vehicle. We're already losing $500 on this car. This is the best deal you can get, and that's why you came from 2 hours away to look at it.
And how am I painting any other picture?
What's that?
When somebody says, hey, I can't do this price, I'm sorry, this is the best I have, how do those calls go on live?
I'm not sure what you mean.
So when somebody goes to me and says, hey, Tommy, I'm sorry, we can't sell the car any lower. That's the lowest price we have. Take it or leave it.
Right.
What do I do?
You either buy the vehicle or you go to the next dealership and see if you can get a better deal.
You're saying I don't belittle them. I don't make them. I don't say, are you stupid? How are you not
do? Oh. You argue with them. Yes, that's the other thing. Yes, I mean that's something that you do. You do.
I only argue when they say not definitive language. You can look through any live stream and any video. If somebody says, I'm sorry, I can't go any lower, then I take that as an answer. But if they said, hey, your presence is power. If you were here, maybe we'd be able to do it. But right now it's as low as we can go. Then that is open-ended language.
Tommy,
that means I'm still going to fight for the consumer.
I can tell you this. And a lot of, a lot of customers or in a sense, I agree with you in this. But presence is power in the sense of if you're a local buyer and you're sitting in that chair and we want to move this unit. We want to make a car deal. We want to earn a customer that's going to come into our service garage all the time. I may lose another $500 if you're on my lot ready to do business now. Then somebody who calls over the phone and says, hey, I'll buy this car if you do this price. I might be more motivated as a manager to move that car if that customer's there. That is true.
And if I'm at that dealership and I call another dealership and I say, hey, I'm actually at the dealership down the street and I'm willing to buy a car at this price, do you not think that dealership's going to be even more competitive? If they know that I'm right in front of them, about to sign the paperwork, I'm trying to... for a fact, if that ever happened in front of you,
that has happened on a deal that I've desked. Yes, that has happened at a deal that I've desked.
The presence wasn't actually the power; it was the competition, because the competition would have got me a lower price.
In that case, in that circumstance, you're correct.
I'm hoping and praying
In
that
that
you're nice enough
circumstance, you're correct.
to bless me with the best deal that I'm asking for compared to competition, which is actual data.
Competition, yeah. I mean, yeah, competition's a good thing. I mean, it
Presence
is.
doesn't mean anything.
And
Competition does.
what's that?
Competition is what actually matters, because if I just go to a dealership and say I want $5,000 off, I'm here. So President Yoda, you'll be like, oh yeah, sorry, it's a stupid price. But if I give you a quote with somebody, that's different. Because competition is the real thing.
So
You have a
Tommy,
higher percentage rate to close clients in person.
If you don't like the price at a dealership, there's nothing holding you within those four walls. Get up and leave.
But again, then that presence isn't power. The presence is power for you because you have a higher close rate.
No,
You have a higher close rate on a phone up versus an in-person.
I said that in a sense, I agree with you in a sense in this way, but I'm telling you as a customer and as a manager, if you are in my dealership and you want another $500 for your trade, and I feel like I'm all in, but you're on my lot, and I know if I give you another $500, we can sell this car today. I might be more motivated to put that extra $500 in your trade or discount my car another $500 to move this unit.
And if I did the same thing but called a different dealership, you would be even more motivated to make sure I don't leave. Or the other dealership would beat that price.
If you were, and same thing if you were at another dealership, yeah. I mean, if you were at another dealership and you're like, hey, I can buy this car for X amount of dollars, there are points too, Tommy, where you tell the customer, if you can buy it for that price, go buy it, because I can't. I just can't do it. You know? So, I mean, that's the case too. That happens. It happens. You know, and again, a lot of things, you deal with the majority of new cars, Tommy, and you know that a lot of that decision-making has to do with how long that car has been on the lot. Because us as dealers, we pay floor interest or we have a floor plan that we're paying interest daily. We're accruing interest daily on that vehicle that we're paying the bank. So we know that if that car sits here for another 30 days, we may pay another $200 on that car. We might have another $200 into it, or $100, or whatever that number is.
You're saying floor plan is more important than presence?
No, what I'm saying is that a dealership may be more motivated to sell that car at another dealership. If you're looking at two Rams, for instance, you're looking at a Ram here, you're looking at a Ram there, and that dealership's had that Ram for 365 days, and they're $500 better than me, but I'm all in. You know, it might be the best deal for you there because that car's been there that long and they need to move that unit. So they may give you a better deal. They might be willing to lose $1,000 when I'm already losing 500, or maybe I'm at cost.
So you're saying competition, comparing options is better than presence doesn't matter. Like you've not definitively said at all that my presence is going to give me a better deal. You might said they might give you an extra $500 off, but if I just compare that price to the market, you've openly admitted multiple times that there's probably going to be a better deal out there.
I mean, you could always shop for a deal, Tommy. I mean, you could always shop for a deal.
The presence isn't power.
The MSRP. So I don't know if you know this, but a lot of these manufacturers, you just went to a manufacturer lowest. We can't go below a certain sales price on a vehicle. We could put more money in a trade.
Correct.
So, I mean,
yeah, it's Matt.
in a sense, the manufacturer has just stepped in and said, guys, enough with this. This is it. We're not going to go. You can't sell it below this price.
Do you want to know? I mean, do you want to tell people why that happened? There's two reasons. Yeah, there's two reasons. One was bigger markets were taking all of the deals, which is getting better deals for the consumer. This is one option, right? Is bigger markets, bigger stores were advertising well below invoice to other dealerships couldn't compete. Smaller dealerships ended up complaining and it wasn't quote unquote competitive. So they made it so they couldn't actually advertise below that price because it made an unfair competitive advantage to a bigger business. That was step one. The other two is that dealerships were just advertising thousands below, not honoring that price and actually bait and switching. So those are the two options.
Or they were mandatory add-ons.
Yeah, or mandatory add-ons. Either way, neither one was good for the consumer, and allowing a dealership to advertise as low as they want should be the best option. If a dealership's willing to go thousands of dollars below, why not let them advertise it?
Right. Well, by the way, I've enjoyed talking to you. I do have to go, but no, I agree with some of the things that you say. And like I said, I like I like how you brought the light out of the right way to buy a car. So I think you've done a lot of good things, more good than bad. I just wish you would, be a little bit more, I don't know the right word, upfront, I guess, or we're not all bad people. Go to a dealership. If you feel uncomfortable, get up and walk out. I mean, there's nothing holding you in those four doors. You don't need to pay somebody $1,000 to buy a car. But some people like the convenience, and that's what Tommy, advertises. So, I never want to see him fail either. But in the same sense, it's an unnecessary evil. I don't think you need to pay somebody $1,000 to get a good deal on it, especially a new car.
And my recommendation to you, Zach, would be look yourself in the mirror, because every comment you make is negative towards me. So if the idea you agree with most of the things I say, I cannot think of a single comment that I've ever seen of you saying, Tommy, you're doing really great things, or a comment on my video saying this guy does great things 90 or 70% of the time, just 30% of the time he's a little bit like you're negative.
Well, I apologize for that then. And you're right. No, I agree with you in that sense. A lot of the videos I see or the lives that I see, I always point out the negatives or the things that I don't agree with. But no, I do think for the most part, you've done a great job showing customers the right way to buy a car and the transparent way to buy, the right way to buy a car as far as doing the research up front and all that good stuff. So there are good things that you've done and do, but we just may not agree with the sense of, obtaining a customer for $1,000 to buy the car. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why we don't agree on that, but that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion.
Right. To each their own. Right. But either way,
I think it's better for consumers to have options. I think we agree. The idea of consumers having options and allowing more and more options is better than less.
Right, exactly. And the consumer has a choice, right? They can choose to hire you. They can choose not to hire you. So that's the nice part, and that's what makes America America, is the freedom of that. So.
Yeah.
But.
Okay. Awesome, Zach. I appreciate you finally coming on.
Yep. Anytime. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
See ya.
That was it. That was Zach Morris. Okay, let me do the intro because I know Alyssa's going to want an intro. Watch, Zach Morris is going to be so mad at this intro, but I don't care. This may be the most anticipated debate that you have been looking for if you've ever seen my live streams. Now, if you watch my videos, if you haven't watched my live streams, you may not know the name Zach Morris. I can't be honest. I don't even know if his name's actually Zach Morris, but Zach Morris is a person that has been on most of my videos and my lives every single day as a finance manager, saying that a lot of things, saying that my service isn't worth it, that I fearmonger, that I'm a broker. There's so many claims that he's made, but he's been here every single day, and I've invited him up multiple times, and he has always said no. This has been going on for years now. Fast forward to today, we have finally got Zach Morris to actually come on. So for the next hour and a half, you're about to see me have a conversation with Zach Morris. We're going to get the points from what I would argue is my biggest hater, and I want to get your opinions. Do you think Zach's method of advertising or what I'm doing is right, wrong, or different? I want to know in the comment section below. Before you do any of that, if you can hit like, follow, subscribe, that would be huge. We are doing a promotion, and by promotion, he's about a 3-take, Tommy. We are actually doing a... Dude, I think... Oh, okay, I gotta redo the whole take. I gotta do the whole take over. 2-take, Tommy. What you're about to watch is my most anticipated debate to date. What you're about to see is a debate with Zach Morris. Now, if you don't know the name Zach Morris, it's probably because you don't watch the live streams. Zach Morris is in my lives almost every single day. complaining about something that I'm doing, that I'm not transparent, that I'm fear-mongering, maybe that I'm a broker one day. Whatever it is, Zach Morris is changing the narrative on how I am not good for the consumer, and I've always invited him every single week to debates. He's one of the people that I said I would cancel everything to debate you. Fast forward to, I feel like a year and a half, 2 years, he's finally come up. So you're going to watch this, and I want to get your opinions on what I would argue is my biggest hater. Do we think Zach made some good points? Do you believe in what this is? Or am I just fear-mongering the entire public? I want to know. Before we get into that, though, I want you to like, follow, subscribe. We are trying to hit 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If we hit this lofty goal, and yes, I know it's lofty, what we are going to do is I allow you to pick the top comment of any dealership that I have ever negotiated with on a video, and I will go in person to that dealership. And I will actually negotiate a deal in person. You get to pick the dealership, but we had to hit 500,000 by the end of the year. Thank you guys so much. Let's get into the debate. Boom. Okay, sorry. I am curious what you guys thought of Zach Morris. I am curious what you guys thought. That was 2-take Tommy. I did fail. Okay. Well, we're probably going to say you guys are biased. It's okay to need a second take. Thank you, Keely. I appreciate it. Wow, that was insane. I didn't expect that. I thought he was going to do better. I actually just am kind of at a point where I don't think anybody's going to be able to make a good point. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. I just don't think anybody's going to be able to come in and defend it. I just think it's really hard to defend the dealership model. I just think it is. The dealers deserve to earn a profit. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at a few different things. Oh, also, while we're all here, yeah, guys, the Jubilee thing is great. I promise you, if we can get on Jubilee, maybe if you guys go to Jubilee's comments and say, hey, that delivered guy would be great on there. Maybe if you guys kept advertising that, they would let us on. I will say, just because we have a lot more people here now. I don't know how many people we have in here. I just did a interview, a behind-the-scenes interview on me and delivered with Jana from Coffee and Conversations. I will say this podcast, unfortunately, does not have the views it deserves. I watched Jana's conversations, and I've always been inspired with her interview tactic, her style, her interview style, and I was blown away with the amount of research and prep she really asked some really engaging questions, not only asking about the content, not only asking for me as a founder and how I run my business, but actually asking some personal stuff that I really haven't gotten to. Called me Batman, which I'm really inspired. I'm going to tell you, this one is an amazing watch. If you guys care about Delivered as a whole, if you guys care about me, honestly, if you just want to support a really awesome podcast, because I want people to watch it, not for me, because you guys can hear watch me all the day. I want you to watch it because I think this person just deserves to actually have a good podcast. I think if you watch it, you'll see it. But it's Coffees and Conversations. And I didn't call myself Batman. She called me Batman. She called me Batman. Boom. Go watch it. Go watch it. Seeing what else is going on here. Oh, wait. Okay. Sorry, I'm on it. Sorry. Boom, boom. Oh, we also have a new Delivered Eats video. We do have a new Delivered Eats video. I think we just put it out. Delivered Eats, where I do my corn dip. Okay, guys, I think this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do today. I've made, first off, if you guys don't know who I am, Hi, my name's Tommy. I negotiate car deals for a living. My goal is to save you time, energy, and anxiety. I save you money, but that's a byproduct. I charge a flat fee of $1,000. We handle everything for you. The price of the car, the trade, the add-ons, the accessories. You notice I didn't say this is a money-saving service. You might say, Tommy, why? Why is it a money-saving service? Guess what? You can do this on your own. You don't got to hire us. Now, we do have 5 people working on our deal and 26 people actually working at Delivered, and we do 400 deals a month. So I say we're really darn good at what we do. But that being said, I teach everything I do for free. So if that $1,000 makes sense for you and you don't want to have to deal with the time, the energy, anxiety it takes to buy a car, by all means, hire us. Otherwise, sit back, watch the content, and learn how to negotiate a deal yourself so you can always get a good deal by skipping the dealership, but still getting a great deal. Boom. All right, that's done. This is what we're going to do. We're going to change this week up a little bit. Corn dip. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to just do calls. We did the debate today. We skipped debate day. We're going to do calls tomorrow. I think we have a YouTube video going out right now. Ellis, I don't know if we have a video going out today or not, but let's have people watch the podcast instead. And we'll push back and we'll do 3 videos next week. Is Real Deal drumming? Is somebody else talking trash? Do I need to deal with somebody who's about to talk trash? Do I want to deal with this person talking trash? Pixel, I'm sorry. You made such bad points that I don't think I can have you back up. I don't think anybody... I think we had a vote from the public to have you back up. I just don't think... You did not make good points. He's just a troll? Okay, so I should just ignore him. Where is Zach Morris? We just did it. You know what? We'll do bingo tomorrow. Why not? We'll do bingo tomorrow. You guys deserve it. You guys earn it. But I'm going to jump off for now. I've had a pretty long day. We will go. It'll be later. I'll let Alyssa decide if there's a video out. But go watch all the content we're telling you guys to watch. Go watch Delivered Eats. Go watch the podcast. And we will do bingo tomorrow. But go watch Delivered Eats. That sounds great. Okay, I'm going to jump off. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Bye.